there are three things that I've needed to buy from, let's call it Walmart, for like 3 weeks now. At no point can I remember all three things.
And you haven't written it down?
Well, I've now written down two of them, and I still can't remember the third thing.
You on your way. Right, okay.
Might not be that important if you
remember it now. And
except for when I go, oh, now's when I need whatever that thing was, like a bar of soap or
that's probably
something
integral
like
to like life.
Right. I feel like
with people.
It's on that level. Like one of the things was toilet bowl cleaner. So that I got today. I'm good on that.
Yeah, I would suggest writing down many things.
I get it, but like most of the time I think of this when I'm driving.
All right. It's Thursday, October 1st, GameEnthus Podcast 418. I'm Aaron, one of the hosts here. Mike is here.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there.
I don't believe you. Okay. Tiny is there. Here.
Hey,
there.
I am here and not asleep, unlike the last show.
Hey, things happen. That's all right. We have a special guest this week. We have Amanda joining us. Welcome, Amanda.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for agreeing to be on. So now all eyes on you. So, so you want to tell people a little bit about yourself and what brought you here outside of being, I don't know, cajoled by me? I don't
know. My name is Amanda. Sometimes I go by Amanda Panda. I love board games and pandas and arts and crafts. And I think John, Book of Nerds, is what connected me to you because he was on your podcast. And then I stopped in and that was really cool. And then you joined me and John to play Taverns of Tiefenthal on his stream.
Yes we did.
And that was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
And then, and then when you asked me to join, I'm like, sure, why not?
Yeah. Well, I think I didn't speak. I guess I didn't really talk to you until then. But when I did a guest spot on BoardinEastla, I think you were moderating the chat. So keeping the haters at bay.
Ban hammering people left and right,
How you do. Yeah.
Yes.
So that is how we got here. So what's going on with you as of late? And anything you want to share with us and listeners that you've been up to as of late?
So today, Girls Game Shelf put out their Bits and Bobs video on their YouTube, and I have a little segment in there, which is kind of fun.
Nice.
And then every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time, I do play games with Muriel and John on his channel for BoardinEastla under Twitch/Book of Nerds. So that was fun. Yeah, we always have some kind of game. This week we played 2 analog games instead of digital. Cat Rescue and Cleocatra by Tate Wu, and that was a lot of fun.
So did you do an overhead camera thing or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did an overhead cam for Cat Rescue, and then Ruel did the overhead cam for Cleocatra, and it worked really well. I mean, there's no hidden information, and so it's fun just to play it on video.
So I want to ask a question that comes from like strict ignorance here, but
okay.
I had no idea that Twitch was like cool with board games. Like I thought it was just like it has to be video games or it's like dumped content. So did they like? I know with like video games, they structure it pretty strictly as far as like you want to search for a specific game. They're like, yes, there's like 1,000 people playing this specific game. How do they handle it with board games?
You can't search for certain games. Like, well, there is certain games that people have put in. Like, I think Wingspan is a category that you can search for, but almost every board game is not in that category. It's all video games. But, the Brothers Murph has really, brought board games to the forefront. They always play a lot of board games together. And then also Losapalooza and Girls Game Shelf all have, big followings and playing board games, analog. And, Roland writes that people can play along, the chat can play along. So it's really nice. And I think that Twitch is less laggy than YouTube. So there's more interaction. And so people can be talking or actually playing games together almost in real time. And so it's been a lot of fun. Yeah. But yeah, you're right that it's hard. The only category is the board game category for Twitch, and you can follow that. Yeah, which is broad, but
it sounds like it's like moving toward a situation where, you know, put enough eyeballs on it, and they're going to say, "Hey, dollars are going to be earned by advertising." So, well, you know, embrace.
I mean, Mike, I know you don't go on Twitch a whole lot. Like the most popular category on Twitch now is called just chatting, which is literally people just talking to their camera.
Yeah,
like not to other people, just talk. Okay.
Yeah.
Sort of like a podcast with one person.
There's some of that.
Steve, remember him?
But isn't that what YouTube is for? Like,
I mean, but YouTube wasn't a streaming platform at one point.
Yeah.
That like if you're doing just chatting, you're responding to your chat.
It hurts my head. I'll tell you, the only time really that I look at Twitch is when I say, "Hey, something came out. I want to see this game in action." And most of the time, like as a for instance, I'm not trying to jump ahead, but Mario 35 was put out on the internet today, and I was like, you know what? I want to look at that. I want to see what that's like because I don't have a chance to actually play it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I was at work. I was eating my lunch, and I was like, I want to look at this game.
Okay.
And I went to somebody's channel, and they were sitting there talking to the audience, and I'm like, that's why I don't want to look at Twitch. I want to watch somebody playing a game. I want to look up video of the game. Now, eventually, he got there, and I watched it, and I was like, oh. You have to actually be good at Super Mario Brothers.
Yes and no, and I'll get into that later. Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about it. But like, just point being is like I look at Twitch to say I want to take a look at that to see if I want to play it, not I want to watch somebody play this for hours.
Okay, so that's the difference, right? So a lot of people will stream on Twitch, and then a day later or a week later, they will edit it and then put it on YouTube. Yep. And YouTube is where I would find playthroughs that I just want to watch. I don't want to interact with the host. I don't want to interact with anyone else. Like I don't want to, I don't want to talk to people in chat. I don't want to do any interaction except watch the game. That's
show me the rules. Like I love the how do you play this game for board games on YouTube. It's just like explain the rules to me like a human, because there's not a human in my room right now that has played this before, and the directions, although they're English and I understand English, are like, but what does that mean in the context of reality?
Mike, and it's funny, my family makes fun of me sometimes because I get so many prototypes in from the people who are making them, so I can just hit them up on like Facebook Messenger or stuff like that, and I've done that because I have access to them. It is great.
Sure.
I'll talk about that a little bit later, but but definitely, I as someone, and man, I'm sure you can relate to this. I don't know if you're visual. I'm visual. Like the manual's fine, but if I can watch someone, they're gonna point to things, and that's all me. Yeah.
But okay, huh?
It's a learning modality. It's it's how it's the different ways we engage.
Yeah.
So.
But I think
I can explain games.
But I think Twitch is different. Twitch is more live, and YouTube, you have YouTube Live, you have Instagram Live, you have Periscope, you have Twitch, right? They're all live platforms, and that's when you want an interactive, thing. You want to talk to someone and have them talk back to you. You want to say something and have someone react. If you are watching Twitch, that's what you want. You know what I mean? And then but Twitch is the best platform for live because it has the least amount of lag. You're not waiting 30 seconds before someone reacts. They're reacting in 10 seconds or 5 seconds, that type of thing. So that's why people stream on Twitch, is because people want interaction. They don't want to be there by themselves talking to themselves, right? Or they people will give more or pay to have a conversation with another person, especially right now, right?
Yeah.
So that's why people
donate
to Patreon or donate to the streamer directly, for better equipment or to help them with expenses or whatever. It's because they're interacting with them. And that's the whole point of Twitch, is that interaction.
I like hearing you say this because this is helping me understand why I don't care about Twitch.
I was
because
say,
I don't want to interact with anybody.
I was going to say
pointed what I dislike the most.
It was like this is what like I've never tried to understand before because it really didn't matter. I just knew I didn't want to watch people talking over the game. I want to see the game.
Right.
I mean, at that point, you just want to see Let's Plays then. Like,
absolutely.
You're looking for a Let's Play. Because I was going to say, Amanda mentioned many platforms, and I was going to ask Mike, how many of those platforms do you actually have access to? Like, you've created an account on Periscope or Instagram.
Mike is pretty big on MySpace. I mean, that's,
he's the
new MySpace Tom.
MySpace
I had this...
How's your TikTok audience going, Mike?
I've never touched TikTok. The MySpace thing, crazy enough, about a month ago, I was like, you know what? I should check what is left of whatever my MySpace page is so I can delete all of it. I need to get this off the internet, whatever it is. And I tried to log in, and it was like, no, that is not, you can't, there's nothing. And I finally was like, well, reset my password, whatever. And it was like, oh, we've updated our terms. And I was like, I don't agree to any of this. And it was just like, fine, no problem. Now they email me all the time. They're like, what about your top 8? And I'm like, no.
What about it?
No.
Why aren't you and Tom friends anymore? Like, they want to know about that.
I want to make sure every photo that was ever added to my MySpace page is gone. Forever.
No, they own it now. It's too late. They own it.
That's what I disagreed. That's why I said I do not agree to any of this.
And here's the thing: you logging in made it look like it's live, so now they're more interested in your.
Oh
page.
yeah, they
like my page
they
just gone. Who cares? I don't even remember what the page was named. So
right,
it is gone.
I'm never logging into that.
It was probably tied to my college email account, so that's gone.
That email is dead. So. But Amanda, you mentioned Girls Game Show. Are you participating in Snaptober?
I'm thinking about it. I mean, today is the first day.
Yeah, I didn't do anything.
But like any challenges like that, it's just I don't know. My rebellious side just like says I don't want to do it now.
I'm glad
I'll do it when I want to do it. You know, come on.
when people send that stuff to me, I almost like never participate. I think I made like one exception when actually it was Book of Nerds. It was John sent something about like favorite game and I participated. But normally I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I refuse. And here's why.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. No, it seems like fun, but I looked at it and went, yeah, I'll do that. And then I saw some tinsel and the light reflected off of it and I got distracted and it's a whole thing. So
there was a shiny object. It was
yeah. Hey, Rat Noob is in the chat.
Yeah, hi. Yes, there's a lot of games behind me.
Yes.
But I like the prompts. I don't know, if I don't join the challenge, I might use it to just have prompts to take pictures, for ideas. Mm-hmm. And I might just do it in the middle of December. You know what I mean? That's who I am, is I'll just take these, I'll save them, and then randomly do them.
Here's Snaptober. In July. Why? Because. Okay. I understand. So anything else you want to share with us in this anecdotal portion of the show?
If you want to follow me on Instagram, I'll just do a little plug. My handle is this Panda loves games. All the spaces are all underscored, and then or it's Panda Angel, which is the same, PANDA, the number 8 NGEL. So I have two. I have the Panda Angel one's for my arts and crafts and cooking and photography, and the other one is just for board games, which has barely anything because I just barely started it. So.
But you did make some oatmeal cookies today, though, right?
I did, because it's Happy National Homemade Cookie Day. So I had to bake something.
Does anybody really keep up with, like, there are so many days. I can't. And there's a lot of overlap too, because I think it was like baked lasagna day too.
Oh,
I feel like there's been at least 4 National Video Game Days this year. Like
they're probably
like, oh, it's National Video Game on Mario 10 or March 10th, and it's like, I'm like, what? Who made this up?
It's Mario Day. It's not even
Why
March.
was I not consulted?
Well, today is National Mario Day, and next week is International Mario Day.
No. That's Intercontinental Mario Day.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And then it's Luigi's Brother Day.
Yeah, there you go.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Oh, aren't you, Aaron, raising money for Extra Life?
Yes. Oh, we all are. But yes,
we all are.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So am I. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, Tiny's gonna talk about a milestone that a GameEnthus team as a whole has passed, because you this year 11th or 12th year, right, Tiny?
Yes.
That's my 10th.
Wow.
I think.
Like it depends. Like I was there for the game drive the first year, so. But I mean, since we already talked about it, I'll mention it. Hey, we crossed $75,000 raised since GameEnthus started doing this.
Nice.
Oh, congratulations.
So yeah, that happened, and like that's all thanks to past and present GameEnthus participants.
Yes.
So there are many that have gone on to make their own teams or are doing other stuff. So, but yeah, no, I mean, hey, yeah.
That's awesome. It's my first year, so I just did it for my birthday.
Hey,
Yeah, but you crossed like
great
$1,000,
start.
so you are.
I did a 14-hour stream on my birthday, so
That's
yes, you
awesome.
did.
Get that gold medal.
That's good stuff.
yeah.
That is good.
Oh yeah, I have
stuff.
my Aaron. Did you ever get your D20?
Yes, I did.
I have my D20 here for it.
Oh, what is that? How do you? I don't even remember.
This was for last month,
Yeah.
for August. So 2 months ago now, for Board Game Day.
I wear it as a hat.
You raised $75.
Oh, when you did the stream.
Yeah.
Well, that was that too. But if you raise $75 in the
John
month of
got
August,
his as well. So yeah.
yes,
Awesome.
finally, I was very glad to see that John finally got his. I found out something. Apparently, the shipping company has had some issues, so they are still working through the backlog.
I got mine a lot sooner than I thought. Like it was like it felt like less than a week. Well, less than 2 weeks, I guess. And John said, he got his. So yeah. Amanda, it's a question. What the affinity for pandas, is that something you've had since you were young, or?
Yeah. So as a child, I had a giant 6-foot stuffed panda, and there's a picture of me with the panda, and I'm like 1 year old. So I think it just comes with the name in a way.
Yeah.
But then, then I grew into the whole panda thing where I like to, eat and play and sleep all day, So
I'm
roll
not
around, get a little bit round so that you can roll better, that type of thing,
Do you still have the 6-foot panda?
Good question.
No, because we moved a lot, so unfortunately I don't have that. But I do have a panda from Costco that's like 4 feet tall. And if you watch the Bits and Bobs segment of mine, he's like at the very end. But it's funny because like I was like pushing him in a cart in Costco, and this guy is like, "Wow, your child is so special that you got the child, this giant panda, like so awesome."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Dude, this is for me. What are you talking about?"
She's going
And I
along with it. Yes.
him into my back seat. You can't use him in the carpool lane, but he looks awesome driving around.
Listen, you can until you realize that you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
So, all right.
Wait, just somewhat related to that. I just discovered today, it was trending on Twitter earlier, that Home Depot sells, it's either an 8 or 9 foot tall skeleton.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I was like, I mean, and then there was a video of somebody who had it strapped to the top of their like Fiat 500 driving it home. I'm like, I don't think I want to get involved in the craziness that is setting up this in the front. Yeah, there's one spot in the entire house where it would not be putting its head through the ceiling. And
I was just saying, like, it could like peek
and that's
over
the front door.
You could peek over your garage, like you could like.
Yeah,
that
it's
would be
true.
funny.
That's true.
Elevate it
I
slightly.
could put it on the roof
And make it like like the BFG, like just peeking over, like.
Oh, that's
a good
terrifying,
idea.
actually.
But I guess my question is, like,
What
this
do you
year,
do with it afterwards?
like, well, no, I mean, like,
For this year, like, what are you even doing?
I mean, that's cool,
I don't know.
but like, yeah.
I just
But there's
don't
other people
know.
who do like Halloween who will put up stuff regardless. I don't put anything
Hey,
up for
I heard
Halloween, so
a recommendation of using tongs to distribute all of the candy when kids come to the door. And
I'm not expecting any, so I'm not buying any candy.
I expect some. That doesn't mean I'm going to be ready to be doing anything about it, but I definitely expect there to be kids in the neighborhood. Not as many as normal, but I definitely expect there to be some kids who are like, you know what? It's a Saturday. I'm getting some candy.
I will have a mostly dry bucket of half-eaten moon pies ready in case anything comes.
Oh, today's Mid-Autumn Festival, the Moon Festival. You should be eating a moon cake, not a moon pie.
Yet another mistake I've made.
But then, the scary thing about having children like walk up to you during the pandemic is they are vectors for all disease, and I would not want them near me right now. So,
I mean, children were germ bags before this. It's increased.
Exactly.
As someone who's an educator or whatever, germ bags, 100%.
So a few years ago when I did the Walter White costume, I did have the yellow protective jumpsuit situation with the mask. I didn't do the face shield thing because those are pretty expensive, but I had that like insulated jumpsuit until we moved, and then it was just like, I'm just going to throw this away. And they're not expensive, or they weren't then. Maybe they are now. But I mean, especially being cold, standing outside or whatever, because that's inevitably how we would do that. That's probably how I would handle it. Full protective gear.
I had someone in a text thread say, "Oh, trick or treating is like going to the grocery store," and I just had to respond back like, "Wait, do you go to a grocery store where everyone hands you the food? Like, what grocery store is that?" What? Anyway, so yeah,
one might exist. I don't know.
I still hear like trunk or treating is going to happen in at least Pennsylvania.
I don't know what is parking lot and just hurl candy.
This is when like you go to like let's say like a strip mall or whatever, and everyone essentially has their car and their trunk open. So because if you live in rural areas where like it's very spread out, kids aren't walking 3 miles between houses to get candy. Well, so they do it in like. You'll go to the stores, and then also you'll have like the parents or whatnot all have their trunks open, and it really goes against the don't take candy from strangers.
Yep. Well, it with cars does every year, to be honest.
But but you don't generally walk up to like white vans and be like, "Can I have some?"
Well, if it says ordinary white van on it, those are the safe ones.
Wow. God.
Yeah.
I understand the idea because of where you live. But.
I understand a white van was a poor choice, but I have candy. Why are you walking away?
I don't know why I scratched it into the side.
I don't have any windows either.
No, you're not supposed to take candy from vans. No,
it's a panel van. Like, of course there's no. Anyway.
I'm glad you're safe.
Anyway, we should move on from that topic.
Mike, what's going on with you?
All right, so to kind of like train of consciousness this whole thing. Since we moved about 2.5 years ago now.
It's been that long?
Well, it was May of 2018, so almost. Okay. Yeah, but there were there was like a list of things that we wanted to get done, like even that, like, as crazy as it seems to me, the home inspector was like, "Yeah, you don't have any GCFIs in the kitchen or the bathrooms or whatever. Doesn't matter." I was like, "Doesn't matter. Like, it's a matter of code or not up to code." And he's just like, "It's Pennsylvania, man. Who cares?" Like, I was like, "What?
What else is this person not telling you?"
Oh, he was. I will say
this is some Pennsyltucky stuff right now.
Yes, definitely. And I will say I think my home inspector was a clown. Like,
I just installed the asbestos. You're welcome. Like,
you could hear his shoes squeak every step he took. It was that bad. But anyway, so I had on my list, there were electrical things I wanted done. There were plumbing things I wanted done. I already mentioned a few weeks back about the lines in the that went bad for the pool.
Yes.
Right. So the concrete had to be chopped up to replace those lines, and that was all done. And then they had to come back to do what they need to do to help me close for the season. So I tried to line up the same day the electrician, the plumber, and the pool guys all in one shot. Couldn't make it happen, but I got the plumbers and the pool guys the same day. Electricians were scheduled for later. But I got an estimate from the electrician for all the stuff that we wanted done. And then he's like, well, it'll be a couple of weeks. Now, after he came and gave me the estimate, and before all the other stuff came, I had a day. I turned the dishwasher on. It got halfway through the cycle-ish, and nothing continued after that. Nothing worked after that. So I was like, well, this is nuts. Let me check the breaker.
Yeah.
Nothing. Let me unscrew the fittings and everything and pull the dishwasher out and take a look behind and see if maybe something got loose or something. Everything looked fine, but there was some evidence of previous mice. So I was like, let me get the vacuum and vacuum all this mess up. Bring the vacuum up, go to plug it into one of the outlets that I always plug the vacuum into, and it doesn't fit because the outlet had melted.
Oh my god.
And I was like, I am a little disturbed by this. It's also the same
melted.
This is the same outlet I leave a carbon monoxide detector plugged in all the time. And then underneath is where I usually plug in the vacuum, because it's like this central point where I can kind of reach everything and not have to, change plugs for the upstairs at all. So I take the carbon monoxide detector out, and I'm actually holding it in my hand. This is one spot where I wish I had a camera that I could show you. The outlet indentation is clearly visible on the plastic housing of the carbon monoxide detector, along with one of the prongs being completely burnt. And I, on my own, undid that and pulled it out and found that about 4 or so inches of the wire had burned up into the wall as well. So I called the electrician back and be like, hey, totally unrelated to one of the things that I asked you to take a look at, one of my outlets melted. Should I be worried about the house burning down?
Electrical yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, well, nothing's plugged into it. No. Okay. Don't worry. You'll be fine. I'll get out there as fast as I can. And,
faster.
No, it was okay. It was fine. Like, apparently if I had been drawing on that outlet still, like with something plugged in, it might have been bad, but with no usage, it was fine. That got changed out. Anyway, to kind of continue on with this, the dishwasher was completely dead. It had absolutely nothing to do with the outlet. That was pure coincidence on the timing. So I took a day off of work for the plumbers and the pool guys. I took a day off of work for the electrician and the HVAC guys. I took a day off of work for the appliance guy to come and deliver a new dishwasher, because they're like, well, here's the deal. If you want a repair, it'll be about 2 weeks for us to show up. It'll be $100 for us to walk through the door. Then we'll assess what you need. We'll figure out how much it's going to cost, how long it's going to take to get parts, and how much it's going to cost to get those parts installed. I was like, all right, how soon can you get me a new dishwasher, and what do you have available? And they're like, well, here's the other problem. There's no availability of appliances at all, except for we have one model that we can sell you, and we can put that in about a week. And I was like,
well, why do they have that one left? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I think I may have figured that one out after it's been installed, because the only difference between the old one that I had before and the new one that I have now, other than some very small cosmetics, same brand, everything, about the same grade of appliance, is they are touch sensitive buttons instead of press.
Oh yeah. Is it an LG or a Samsung?
No, it's a Maytag.
Okay.
But the problem is, it doesn't matter what touches these buttons. So when you walk up to the counter, or when the electricians stand there and work on the outlets, it starts the dishwasher.
So they're not capacitive. Okay.
They are not capacitive. And I'm like, I don't know how to, like, this is going to be a forever problem.
So, so they're resistive, and this is pressure.
I don't know, or maybe any metal object. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's been started accidentally at least 5 times.
The king did it once.
Those dishes are very clean.
It's possible. It's possible. So
how high is your water bill then?
I don't know, because they charge me quarterly, and there was an incident where I left the water running all day long by accident with the pool earlier this quarter. So I assume now that the quarter's ended that this upcoming bill is going to be exceptionally high.
It will be out of the norm.
Yeah, it'll be out of the norm.
I mean, it's not that already.
It's not going to be like $7,000,
right?
But it's going to be like probably higher than normal. And all of this has now been completed except for the replacing of the concrete over the pool lines, which that's probably a week from tomorrow. Okay. That's the latest update on that. And then hopefully everything calms down and I can just live in this house
peacefully
and be fine.
Have a nice winter.
I'm sure winter will be nice. It'll be.
Did you check your heater?
Oh yes. So the HVAC guys came. They did their thing. They're like, the heater looks great. It's only it's 3 years old now.
Next week.
And they're like, your little sensor looks great. Your burners look great. Everything's fine. They were here for like 20 minutes. I haven't seen that bill, but I don't think it's going to be big. And yeah, so there's yeah. Did I mention on a previous show or not that I actually watched the Sonic movie?
No, you said you were going to.
Okay,
I remember that. Yeah.
It's garbage.
I thought it was fun.
Don't watch that movie. It's so stupid. I can't even believe it. I mean, it was just like, how do we get from one unexplained set piece to the next unexplained?
Yeah, the whole owl thing.
Is it because he runs fast? Is that why?
No, it's the beginning is very different than the rest of the movie.
No, I don't even have any qualms from the beginning. But like once they got to the weird like country western bar, I was like, I mean, I know my brain has to be on like the minimum setting to even stare at this, but I was still insulted at like what they wanted me to believe. Like this was
wow.
So it wasn't the hairy legs that turned you off.
No, that like I swear I still want to see the original movie. Just
I don't
let me see how ridiculous it was.
Oh, so bad. I feel like the movie is for like kids and people have nostalgia for Sonic. I thought it was funny. I enjoyed it.
I mean, you know,
that doesn't mean you have to enjoy it. I didn't.
No, I'm saying I didn't enjoy it at all. Like I found some entertainment here and there.
Jim Carrey was funny,
but the movie is bad. It's a bad movie.
Okay,
Mike, tell us how you feel about it.
Okay, this is the thing. Because you have not watched the Mario Brothers movie yet, I want you to watch that movie.
Okay,
and then you have a new appreciation for Sonic.
Wait, Mike, have you not ever seen the Mario Brothers?
I've never seen the Mario.
I sent it to you.
Yes, I mean, I plan to eventually watch that movie someday.
You're talking about the live action Mario?
Yes. Yeah. Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo and
you said it wasn't
Dennis Hopper.
No, that was hilarious. I watched it years ago. That's what my memory of it was, that it was a cute, funny movie. I didn't take it any seriously. But I also was not very serious about the game either.
Well, so. Yeah. How do you take Mario serious? I mean, you can enjoy Mario, but you can't be like, oh, this is super serious. Canon. I have to know all of the, like, if you're just like, only, oh God, what's his name? The afternoon show, Lou Albano. Yeah, it's just like, he's my Mario. He's my only one. Like, he's the
okay, people in the chat are defending this movie. Like, we watched it like this past summer because I wanted to show my family, like, this is,
guys,
it's not a good movie.
The main actors are drunk for most of that movie. Like, I don't, like, they didn't.
Bob Hoskins said it was the single worst thing he'd ever done.
Yeah. Okay, but you're watching it now, like after years of how movies have changed and graphics and all that stuff. But at that time, it was not bad.
I was in the movie theater. I was about what was it, 91, 92?
They were writing the movie while they were filming it because they threw out the first 4 scripts.
No, okay, I did watch a YouTube video that showed a lot of the stuff that was taken out. A lot of things would have made a lot more sense, but the movie would have been a half an hour longer, which would have led to...
longer. I thought you were going to say a half an hour long, which would have been great.
Things would have made a lot more sense when they broke out those...
No, I mean, I saw it in the theaters when it came out. I was like, this is not... But it's all an opinion. It's fine. I disliked it from the beginning, and I've carried that through. And I wanted to check to see like just how horrible it was this summer. And it's watchable, but it is not... It's so different than, and it's not that it's not like the original game has like some deep story. They went off into left field, but it still doesn't make any sense.
I swear, if I ever get around to actually watching it, I'll talk about it on the show.
I would love to hear what you think.
I should rewatch it. That'd be hilarious.
You know what? Do that. I encourage.
We'll have a spoiler cast.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be part of our actual life stuff. I'm just throwing that out.
Could be.
It could.
Fair point.
Just our reactions to watching a wonderful film. Good for the whole family.
And I guess just last thing real quick. My wife has watched all of Ozark, which is a Netflix show with Jason Bateman and Laura Linney. And she was like, "It's great. You should watch it." And I started watching it, and I was like, "Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. It's very much like Breaking Bad. So if you like Breaking Bad, I'd say here's another show that's very similar. So give it a shot." But I'm only on season 2.
I've heard good things. I've never seen it though.
Yeah, I mean it's serious. It can be disturbing at times. But it's I'm not saying it's the best thing I've ever seen in my life, but
you're not saying that either.
No, I've seen better, but not much. I mean it's it's good. I mean if you have watched Breaking Bad and you like that style of a show, hard to say you. I would assume you would also like this because that's the same, getting the same vibes. That's really what it is. So anyway, that's it. Aaron, you had a roller skating milestone. What do you mean?
45 miles. No, we went roller skating a couple of weeks ago, and my wife will often attempt to skate. Well, she will. She wants to learn how to skate backwards better, and I'm always like, no, I'm not doing it. And she started teaching me, and other complete strangers at the rink were like, hey, do this. And, I did it. And I actually went all the way around, and I was very proud of myself and jumped
all the way around backwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
After initially saying, no, I'm going to crack my skull and die. But I didn't. So it was good. I look forward to going back to doing it again. And it is a distance. Like we weren't, we get there early, and a lot of people are there. And you have to be strategic. Basically, the parking lot tells you whether you should go in or not. If it's full of cars, it's like, nope.
Oh, yeah.
Very few. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And this is the 4 wheels, not the inline skating.
Yeah, no blades. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't own anything. I mean,
I feel like the blades kind of went passe like 15-ish years ago or more, maybe. Okay. I don't know. Like when I was like the tail end of my ever going to a rink, it seemed like it was like, oh yeah, four wheels, you're a nerd. You should just cry on your way home.
A blade still has 4 wheels. They're just in line.
Yes. Well,
I know what you mean.
Yeah. It's like if it's not rollerblades, you're a dork and you should feel bad for living.
I remember that phase sort of.
But now it's like no, blades are so lame.
It's not like you're trying too hard if you have blades, like.
Well, I mean, isn't like blades versus like skateboard the same as like snowboard versus skis? And like someone's like, oh, the other one's always so lame. So
it certainly was. I mean, are people still like that about skis and snowboards, or does it seem?
I feel like snowboarders. I feel like snowboarders are from the snowboarders.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of both of my feet being attached
on
to
one board.
I mean, I haven't talked to Sean White in days, so I don't know.
You should give him a call.
Here's the real thing: skaters and inline skates can agree. The dumb people are the freestyle walking people that have soap shoes on, so that they can grind down rails and whatnot via their sneakers.
What is a soap shoe?
Oh, it's literally so like when you man. So think about skating and like you could soap a rail or whatnot, so it's easier for your board to slide along the rail.
Okay.
Well, instead you can buy chutes. You can buy shoes that essentially the middle of the sole is just replaceable soap, so that you, instead of being on a board or on inline skates,
like rosin on the sole of your shoe, essentially.
Yes, can just jump on rails and go down rails on your shoes.
So like when Clark Griswold rubbed that like crazy stuff on the
grease on the bottom of his sled,
on the what do they call those things? The snow, not the sled. It was like the disc. The what do they call those? It's like a round sled. It has a specific name that
I only know it as a round sled.
I want to say toboggan, but I know that's not what you're talking about.
No, yeah, it's definitely not a toboggan. Anyway, we know what you mean. It's the one that burns out the bottom of it. But yeah, no, like freestyle walking.
Freestyle.
I don't know. I don't even know if that's even a thing anymore, but
it should be.
It became parkour, I believe.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, isn't that parkour? And
this was lame parkour in the late '90s, early 2000s.
Like the Office parkour where they jumped around on desks, just yelling parkour.
Right, it's
just
parkour
you jump
without
on something and yell parkour does not make it parkour. So, I was also this one more thing about the
yell loud enough. No, go ahead. Sorry.
The skating rink is normally, you know how when you rent skates, you bring both of your shoes, and they, use a disinfectant spray and they swap it out. They only took one shoe from each person, so I was like,
that's their new thing. Yeah.
Does that? What does that change? I don't.
It's so you don't steal the shoes.
I was going to say it's collateral, right? Like it's just so that you
can't walk out with one shoe, and you can't walk out with 2 bowling shoes. So,
but
really, I mean, do they?
I didn't. Okay. We don't go to this rink like a lot. I mean, it wasn't open for a while, of course. Sure. But I recall the last time I was there, which was not even a year ago, or maybe it was. They, you put both. They gave them both shoes. They gave you both skates. I was thinking, like, is this a good way to get you to rent the locker? So you put one of your shoes in the locker? Or what is this?
Yeah, that's a good point, because it's not just
revenue.
Why do you not have enough space to hold my shoe? It's like now I'm responsible for a shoe that I'm not wearing, and what's happening to that?
Oh, but it's not like you came to the skating rink with nothing else.
Well,
like,
what else would I have at a skating rink?
Okay, maybe you did. Are you saying your family didn't come with like any kind of other bags or anything that maybe they would have been carrying items with them?
No.
Like, okay, so I'm sorry. I would have assumed someone might have had a book bag or a purse or any of that kind of stuff. Like, everyone just kept their wallets in their back pockets.
We held them in our mouths. So I had my new 3DS in my mouth as I skated.
Then you had a little. Your wife had a purse around her head.
Exactly.
I'm just now realizing the trick is go to one of these places with shoes that you were about to throw into one of those donation bins, and then just walk out with skates or bowling shoes or whatever that you're renting.
But then if everybody did that, then they would really, the rink might go under. Then you have no place.
I'm not saying like, you should.
Right, but then the world is your skating rink.
It defeats.
I'm not sure it works like that.
The security is all about you want these shoes back.
I just thought it was
if you
weird
don't want the shoes back, then
shoe.
who cares?
I was like, well, I was like, you're not taking both. Like, no, we take one now. I'm like, what am I gonna do with this shoe?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
So
why don't you have
to my
space?
left? I look at the rink. And I see a bunch of people just holding on to a shoe while they try to skate and balance. I'm just like, what have we done?
But did they change the size of the cubbies? Because aren't all the cubbies the size of 2 shoes?
Everything is the same. They just take.
I don't understand.
Where the skates were before.
What is more safe about this?
Nothing. I said to wife, I said maybe it's just because they were closed for so long, get a little more revenue by giving people more reason to rent the lockers.
Oh yeah.
Or
but they've been doing that for a long time. The one shoe thing, like
I didn't know that they always used to take. Really? Maybe we just caught up. I guess maybe it starts on the West Coast and just comes east.
I think it's been 15 years since I went roller skating.
I was gonna say I haven't gone to a roller skating rink since I don't know middle school. So
it's been more recent than that for me. But yeah, I think about 15-ish, maybe a little more. But
I'll go ice skating before I go roller skating.
I think ice skating's been about that long for me too, though.
It's been about
pretty close
5-6 years since I've been ice skating. I didn't fall. That's my goal. Just don't fall.
I feel like ice and roller skating were both like, this is something you do on a date when you're not married.
You can do it when you are.
You can. I'm not saying, but for me, that's how it happened. It was just like, oh, we're looking for things to do other than go to the movie theater. It's put on various types of skates depending on the weather.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it is sort of a date thing. So yeah, but anyway, I did it backwards. It was great, and I want to go back so I can keep practicing. I don't want to lose the skill that I gained.
Exercise those muscles.
Our other thing is, friend of the show, friend of real life, Slider Wave has a website out called Comicsplex. I'll leave a link in the show notes. So they have free membership, and he's trying to get people coming in who, he had some workshops and things. He has some people who are heavily involved in comic books and drawing and stuff, doing workshops, things like that. So check it out. I'll be putting some gaming content on there as well, so make sure you give that a look. And this last thing. Go ahead, Tony. Sorry.
I was going to say, for Comicplex, I mean, the idea behind it is, since conventions can't happen, this is supposed to be like an ongoing convention where
it never stops.
If you want to see creators talk about, hey, how to get into the comic industry, or go over your portfolio, or that kind of stuff, that's
criticize
the main
how
part
you
of
draw feet, just whatever.
There's also a selling portion to it where like people can sell memorabilia and whatnot,
virtual booths and storefronts and things like that. So
essentially, everything you'd see at a Comic-Con.
There you go.
So,
and the weird thing is, I read today that Jamie Foxx is going to reprise his role as Electro in another Spider-Man movie.
Oh,
that's weird.
Well,
although he was not the issue with that last Amazing Spider-Man movie, it was a lot of other things that were.
I mean, there were a lot of issues. I don't know if I'm not going to put Jamie Foxx on that list.
Well, I don't know. I thought
his character. It's not Jamie Foxx's acting that was the problem.
Yeah,
it was how they treated the character.
Yes,
because they doubled the number of enemies, but they have the intelligence of both of them, so they only equaled one real villain. Because you're like, why can't this guy with electricity literally kill the guy standing on a metal plate? Who knows? But I mean, if this is, I saw this, and I'm just wondering if this is related to the whole like Spider-Man Dimensions movie that keeps getting rumored, where they're going to bring like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Like they're trying to do a Spider-Verse live action movie.
That could be really good or horrible.
And like, who are you gonna like feature as the villain from Amazing Spider-Man other than Electro? Because you have Doc Connors who got cured, and then you have Hobgoblin-ish guy.
He was annoying. He just didn't brush his teeth and was upset about it, and that's why he decided to kill those people. So just brush your teeth, man. You'll be good.
I also feel there's a storyline that like, it's because of how energy goes through the dimensions. Electro is like the key focal point for how the dimensions merge.
It didn't make sense how he like got defeated, because it's like, what? That he should still really just be fine, but whatever. Then again, I saw that movie one time. So
again, the cute thing about that movie is when he uses his powers in the electric plant or whatever, it like plays out the Spider-Man song, the Spider-Man theme song. You're like, I hate you so much. Like, I
think the theater was like, oh.
And then Gwen Stacy, fights in comic book style.
Yeah, that didn't work out too well for her.
So
yeah, I totally just passed on the second Amazing Spider-Man movie. I was so
Mario Brothers. I mean,
just like the first one, I just felt like was so nothing that I just didn't care.
It was okay. It was.
I didn't hate it. I just didn't care.
It gave us a villain we hadn't seen, which was like, okay, it's just.
But there are so many problems with that. They're like when he kills Gwen Stacy's dad at the end. And literally, it's like, this lizard formula will heal him, and we have the cure for it. Why don't we just give it to him, let him heal, and then, stop him from turning into a lizard? Plot. Hey, look, he's still alive.
Imagine
everything is right here. We could fix all this. And then again, and Spider-Man does this in all the movies. The next movie, he's like, I can't love you, Gwen Stacy, because your dead father, who maybe will haunt me, told me not to endanger you. But then by the end of the movie, I do love you, Gwen Stacy, and then Gwen Stacy dies because she fell off a bridge.
Well, well, yeah. I didn't think they were going to kill her
to save
quite
her
that way, but it was pretty bad.
He tries to save her, and because of how like the elasticity and whatnot,
a fractured skull was inevitable. You know?
So, but like it's that whole half of that movie's plot is just based on Spider-Man being, I can't love this person, but I can love this person.
Sounds awesome. It's
the same plot of Spider-Man 1 and 2. Like, Mary Jane, I can't love you because you could be in danger. But Mary Jane, I do love you.
And you are in danger.
And you are in danger because you're still around me.
So Red Noob just said he's at 240 hours of watching Into the Spider-Verse.
Wow.
Such a good movie.
It really is.
I have rewatched that movie several times.
He's watched it many times. It might be his
favorite.
Is that
100 views plus?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
What? I've still not seen that.
Mentioned X-Men? What is this?
Whoa, The Last Stand is a very bad movie.
Before we go into X-Men real quick, I just have to say that I was an extra for Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire.
Really?
I
gotta watch it now.
The one with Green Goblin. You cannot see me. They blurred all the extras, but I'm in the scene where Green Goblin flies through the carnival scene or the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping you were gonna say you were one of the people on the bridge. Where they're like, you mess with New York, you mess with all of us.
I'm living here.
I was also in the scene where Tobey Maguire like runs around the corner and opens his shirt and shows the. Okay, so funny thing is, he's like, I'm standing like on the other, like he runs around. I'm standing like on the side where he's running to, but I'm like surrounded by people and we're kind of bored. So we see him stretching before this like 1 minute run, you know, like or 50 or 30-second run around the corner. So I start mimicking and making fun of it.
Are you the reason why it got blurred out?
I was not blurred out in that scene, but yeah, no, and everyone was giggling. And then like he does his run like twice, and he needed like a full-on like 5-minute stretch to do this twice. Well, and I was like, that is just hilarious to me. But yeah, people were drawing Spider-Mans on the balloons. In that scene, like pop, give it to someone else, or like, they taped up, your clothing for any brands. But yeah, that was like my memory of it. It's just so hilarious that everyone's giggling and they don't know why.
So how long did that whole how long did all of that take?
If you'd gotten a Charlie horse during that run,
I know. Like, he is the star, so I can understand. Oh, it was like, wow.
Wow. That's a small world, It's
well, it's LA, You're in college. You want to make like $10 an hour. You go.
They paid you, man.
Yeah. Did you get access to the catering or no?
No.
You should have told me who you were. I'm Amanda. Yeah. I like pandas.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like one of the biggest things, like when I was, I forget if I was in high school or it was like tail end of middle school, but they filmed Major League 2 at Oriole Park. So even though it was supposed to be pretend Cleveland, they filmed it in Baltimore at the brand new Oriole Stadium, which at the time was like the tickets were incredibly hard to get. Like all the games were sold out. It was very expensive and everything. So there was this excuse to go to the brand new stadium for free to be an extra in the background. I don't think they paid anybody though. It was just, hey, hold up this cardboard sign that we're handing you, or be in the background and don't wear anything that is like, a problem for the movie.
But the problem with filming in LA, it's so hot most of the time because they had sun and it was no shade, it was outside, is that we're supposed to be in New York and it's supposed to be in the fall winter, so you couldn't wear shorts in California under the heat, under the sun. So everyone had to wear like jeans, and like the only thing is we were wearing short sleeves. It was funny. The magic of television. But
now I gotta watch that movie again.
Yeah, I gotta watch it now too, to see if I can find there she is.
Spot the panda.
She was on my podcast.
Look at all those short sleeves. I can't believe I'm totally taken out of this movie now about a guy who got bit by a spider and became a superhero.
Why is Macy Gray not commenting on all these short sleeves?
Yeah, she was in that, wasn't she?
Oh yeah, no, she's in that movie. Right when they kill the Osborne board of directors.
She's in that movie and she's in Training Day.
She is?
Yeah.
So, Rhett Noob asked about Last Stand. I will say this: Last Stand is the worst of the original.
Well, no, actually,
movies.
it was Hard Rock and Guy said the worst movie to make your enemy watch: Amazing Spider-Man 2 or X-Men: Last Stand.
I will submit
X-Men: Last Stand.
I will submit X-Men Apocalypse or Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix. Yes.
Both of those movies are. I will watch Last Stand, and it's bad, like it's dumb, but like Apocalypse is just.
They just stopped trying.
Jennifer Hunger Games. What's her last name?
Lawrence.
Oh God. Jennifer Lawrence didn't want to be in that movie so much and didn't want to go into the makeup. She's like, you need to kill me at the beginning of this movie. And they just kind of randomly killed Mystique.
You could tell she was over it. Like she was just like, I can't.
Yeah. Well, after
I'm a bigger deal now, so
what was the one that I fell asleep? That was Apocalypse.
That was
right?
Apocalypse.
So like that after that movie, there was an interview with her, and she was just like, I mean, I guess if everybody else comes back, I'll do another one. But she clearly was not interested.
Fan Four Stick versus Dark Phoenix. I like parts of Fan Four Stick.
I'm not watching that.
It was bad. Man, did you see the last Fantastic Four?
I saw both. I think Dark Phoenix where she turns evil and blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. I have a very strong suspension of disbelief.
It's easy for you to accept nonsense.
A lot of fiction. Yeah, I accept a lot of things that I know are like totally off or like plot holes. My brain is very good at, skipping over the plot holes or like filling them in for myself. So I didn't feel it was too bad. It was just that I feel like Fantastic Four, the actual acting was kind of bad, or just like, I don't know. It kind of is a little bit like nails on a chalkboard in some places, but like I thought Dark Phoenix was better. Just that I feel like it was a lot more drama and it was a lot smoother from my memory. But Fantastic Four was just...
If I had to watch one of them, I probably would watch Dark Phoenix. At least it had some action sequences that were pretty okay.
Right.
Yeah. It wasn't good. Honestly, I'd rather watch that than Apocalypse. Because Apocalypse was so bad.
It didn't make any sense.
It really didn't.
It's just... All right.
Yeah.
All
right. Again, the first one of those for X-Men for New Class or First Class is the best of that series.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, first.
And again,
I like Days of Future Past more than First Class.
Yeah, I thought both of those were really good.
But they were both very good. Yes.
Yeah. Well, X-Men 2 was good. Then you skip over 3, and then
they kill off Darwin in the dumbest way possible in that first movie.
Yeah, I'm still upset about that. Yeah. He deserved better. Anyway, that's it for me. We've really been. We've been a game yet.
I'll go quick through this stuff. I'll start off with, this week is the 24th anniversary of the N64 and the 22nd anniversary of Pokemon releasing in North America.
The Dreamcast can now drink, right? 21 years?
Yeah, it's 21 years. 21 years.
So everybody go crack open a bottle and pour it over your Dreamcast because it's been waiting all this time.
Well, I mean,
oh my God.
that just encourages you to go get one of those drive emulators because your discs are dying anyway. So
I mean, it's a sad fact, but yeah.
That's true.
That's that stuff.
Only you can prevent disc rot.
I ended up finishing Bossfight Book's Resident Evil book this week, which is a 200-page book on the first Resident Evil, and the guy talks to psychiatrists or psychologists about how we react to fear in virtual works versus in real life, and it was an interesting book. If you go check out the Bossfight series,
is that why Barry talks like a complete idiot?
Okay,
because he's dealing with fear.
Of fear unlocking.
So they go into it, it's kind of interesting. He tracks down most of the voice actors and then B the actual the actors because they are not the same people.
Right. Well, right, because the original version of the first game had like legit live action acting in it.
Right. But the live actors, even in that first version, are not the same as the voice actors for them.
Right, of course.
They have separate voice actors for those actors. And they talk about it, and he talks about like, yeah, we told them the writing was freaking terrible in this. Like, you should probably. And
they didn't listen.
They did not want to hear this, and like most of the actors didn't know they were in it for something like until like maybe the last 10 years. Because it was a day and a half that they did for some agency over in Japan, OMI, something like that.
But you would think that they would know whether they got paid for the work that they did or not.
They got paid for the days. They don't get royalties because
not royalties, but like be like, you know, hey, whether you use the material that you paid me for or not. I would think that they wouldn't
tell them. No,
they wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, most actors don't seem to find this out unless. They're a bigger deal.
I don't know. Maybe I feel like if it was me, I would be like, you paid me for something you called Resident Evil. I'm going to look up whether.
There's the thing. They didn't call it Resident Evil at that point. It would have been called Biohazard to start. Yeah. And then even that, they probably did that video 2 years before the game came out. And I mean, at this point, it's 96. So like, you only know about games if you're involved with games. It's not the same like coverage that you.
Hot Rockin' Guy said maybe they thought it was some student film. Clearly they were not.
I mean, on that level, yeah.
There's also only like really 2 live action scenes in that. It's the opening,
right,
and then the close, and the close is 4 different options based on who lives. So they're like, it was a day and a half of shooting in 1994.
Sure.
Like it didn't change their lives or whatever. But like one of the guys is trying to get into the Resident Evil movie remakes and whatnot. Anyway, the books are really interesting. It's part of the Bossfight series. This is like their 24th book or whatever. I've talked about like the NBA Jam and Knights of the Old Republic ones and whatnot. So yeah, I'd go check it out.
Hot Rockin' Guy said the short movie at the beginning of Resident Evil is still better than the last Paul W.S. Anderson. I stopped watching after the second one, I think.
I think I got to the third one. The one where they introduced
Nemesis.
No. What's her name? Well, yeah, there was a teaser and then it showed up in the third one.
Claire,
right?
Yeah, Claire
the one Allie Larder. Yeah. When Allie Larder showed up, that was just like, all right. I not that was the reason, but that was the movie where I checked out. And then it was just like, oh, by the way, those movies that are not watching anymore, if somebody was horribly disfigured in an accident that could have easily been prevented. I don't want to watch any more of this stuff.
Yeah, I think I've seen all of those movies. They're not good.
No, they're not.
So, but there's a Netflix CG version.
I like this 3 CG movies, by the way.
Yes,
and another. The series, right?
The series coming. That's in.
Something about Wesker's daughters
or something.
Anyway, why do people care about Wesker? Is a horrible character.
It really is.
So,
are we cannibals, Dad? Yes, we are, kids.
Yeah, all right, let's do this.
So, the last thing I'll talk about is I went down, let's say, a rabbit hole of watching video game documentaries.
There's a lot of them, apparently.
There are a lot, and
sure.
So we talked about High Score that came out on Netflix in August. I want to say
I'm on the Laurie Corey Cole. No, Roberta Williams.
Roberta Williams. Okay, I was like, I was gonna say I don't remember that one, and I've watched this series now 3 times.
Well, they did.
You liked it enough to watch it 3 times?
Well, I ended up when I go over to my parents' house and they'd be like, "Oh, let's watch something you want to watch." I'm like, we can.
That's a
dangerous
work through thing to tell.
See, like, let me educate you.
This is a real interesting. This is what leads to that. I put up a tweet I think Sunday. For some reason, people were talking about how my mom made a joke about Pokemon parentage, and so I explained that really most Pokemon breeding happens at a daycare because the staff is just so inept at their jobs, and that's how Pokemon are born. In
the less you think about Pokemon, the safer your psyche is.
So these documentaries. So there's High Score. Which is good, but there's some weird stuff. They don't mention Ralph Baer. They say Nolan Bushnell's the head, the grandfather.
It's all over the place. It's not terrible, but it could be so much better.
Right, and so CBS featured Console Wars, which is based on a book that came out 2014.
I got
I need to finish reading
through it, and
I really
like it.
book.
I just haven't finished it.
I plan to finish reading it, but I got somewhere around.
It was almost too much detail.
Halfway.
It's very Sega focused too. Like
of course,
it's from their perspective. It's from that perspective.
Absolutely.
And in the documentary, is about 2 hours long. It's the same idea. Like they do actually get more Nintendo people to talk in the documentary though, so they get like Howard Phillips and they get Howard Lincoln and
what is that on Hulu?
That is on CBS All Access.
Oh, that's why I'm not going to ever see that.
So maybe they'll bring it to TV like they're bringing Star Trek Discovery.
Also, by the way, what are they calling that next year? Because it's not
Paramount's something or other.
Streaming. I have no idea what we're talking about.
They're renaming.
They're renaming
All
CBS
Access.
All Access to it be more of its parent company. So it'll be all of Paramount's content.
So it'll be called Parent Company CBS All Access.
Yes.
Rolls off the tongue.
Anyway, so
Console
War is real interesting. The weirdest thing about Console War though is they get to the end and they're talking about like PlayStation, and because it's from the Sega perspective, they talk about the Sony Sega partnership that was in discussions, but they never mention like any of the Nintendo Sony drama, which is super weird
because that's a big deal.
Like the whole reason the PlayStation exists is because Nintendo snubbed Sony.
Yeah, in fact, the part of that I probably heard at some point, but I don't remember. Did Sony and Sega talk first or after?
Sony and Sega were talking about a content deal. So like they were going to make games together, and this was going to allow them to take on Nintendo because Sony had all the properties and Sega could make the games. Like
Sony ImageSoft and Psygnosis and everything did make Sega CD titles.
Yes, but so when you listen to it, David Jaffe shows if you want to know more about the PlayStation side, hey, I watched Bedroom to Billionaires, the PlayStation Revolution. And in there, David Jaffe talks about like he worked at Sony ImageSoft and he's like, pretty much all the games we made was garbage. Like Goof Troop was okay. We worked with Mugabe. Hook was a good game.
Yeah, it was licensed stuff. They made like Dracula based on the movie.
Okay, where can I watch Bedroom
stuff like
that?
That is I got that from iTunes. So that's
not on like a
that is not on a streaming service. Right?
Okay.
There are
iTunes
2 bedrooms.
Is still a thing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have an Apple TV. It was easy for me to. Anyway.
Apple TV is a thing.
Apple is a company?
That's a new thing, though. Apple TV, right? They're having their own TV shows.
Oh,
well, Apple TV,
whatever.
Apple Plus, the streaming service is the new thing. I mean, I have it like a literal like cable TV box called an Apple TV that lets me stream my Apple content, whatever.
Yes, your Apple content,
like something that plugs into my anyway. But
all those delicious.
There are 2 Bedroom to Billionaire documentaries. The first one's on UK microcomputers, so like everything we missed out on the Amiga and all that stuff, Commodore. And then the second one is on PlayStation, which it's like 3 hours long. I think I had to watch it in a couple parts.
Wait, you had to buy 2 different like pieces of content?
I didn't. Well, they were 2 separate movies. You know,
it's a privilege to give them your money.
I know. Bedroom to Billionaires, the first one was a documentary that came out in 2015.
Right.
And that was about UK. And then they made a sequel called The PlayStation Revolution, which came out in, I think, like September of this year. So like they are 2 different pieces of content. Both are like 3 hours
September
long.
Is in last month.
But are they made by the same people? That's really okay.
Yeah, the same people are making.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'll finish this up. So those were real interesting, and it goes deep into PlayStation. Be aware for all of these, and this was something I had to prep my parents. You have to be okay reading subtitles because a decent part of all of these documentaries are spoken in different languages. So if you don't want to read, you probably don't want to watch these because you are going to be having to read subtitles.
Not something to watch while you're making dinner necessarily.
That or
depends on what you're eating.
Yeah. The last ones I'll talk about are real niche stuff. I watched Mother to Earth, which is about the lost Earthbound prototype that for Nintendo that later got released on the Virtual Console.
Oh, what do they call it? Earthbound Beginnings?
Earthbound Zero or Beginnings, which
whatever.
It goes by both titles, which is real interesting. Like that was on Vimeo or something. Like it was like $2.99 to purchase.
The video. I was like, wait a minute.
No.
The game was available on Vimeo?
Mother Earth
for an Ouya documentary. Oh my.
Man, I wish they'd make an Ouya documentary.
They should come talk to me.
Oh, they did.
Who only bought 2 controllers. The only one who did. What do you?
It was the video they released during the Kickstarter where they talked about how awesome their controller was going to be.
Their controller design was.
It was like a 20-minute video about how they studied controllers for their entire lives.
Oh, that controller was bad.
And they were like, "This is the best controller man has ever created."
Like it's like, did they really say we have to overcompensate because it's such a piece of junk? Because it really is terrible. Like I don't. Without irony, I don't know how.
Anyway, us beating up on the Ouya.
Right.
Like old.
I can see it from here.
So I'll finish up the last two. The Lost Arcade, which is about Chinatown Fair up in New York. This is available on Amazon Prime for free, or as long as you're paying for a subscription.
Sure.
I want to say I watched this at MagFest, so at least one of you might have watched it with me.
So it's not new.
No, this is a couple years old, but they do talk about the guy that bought Chinatown Fair after the like hardcore arcade went down, and tried to make it more like a family friend, more like a Dave and Buster's.
Sure.
Kids smoking cigarettes, their parents drinking, that kind of thing.
So, and then the last one is Not for Resale, which I think was also on Apple. I think I got it, but like you can get it on Google Play or whatever.
Yeah, it's on Amazon as well.
And Not for Resale is about like used game stores across North America, and like they're talking about like how people got into it, what's the stuff like, what their challenges are. Like all of them say, please don't open another store because it's a terrible idea.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, but like these were all just like cool. The funny thing is I'm watching all these, and I mean there's new information I'm learning, and then there's stuff that like just reaffirms what we've talked about in the past. But he's also showing a lot of like convention footage, and I'm like, this sucks because like I don't know the next time we're gonna go to a convention.
It's gonna be
like it was a good thing to watch. The last two I'll start with or end with is YouTube gaming stuff. The Icon, which is a channel on YouTube, put out a video about Muriel Tramis, which is the first Black video game designer in France. So for the microcomputers in like late 80s. I think the only thing people might know is Goblins, and again, you have to like have played with a Commodore 64 or an Amiga to have ever played this game. Amstrad, any of those microcomputers while we were playing with Nintendo, what Europeans were playing with and thought pushing up to jump was a good idea.
Right. And saying video game crash, what's that? We have computers.
We have these computers. Are literally the BBC has made a computer itself and is selling it to us.
We can and then the other one, our games off of the radio, or
exactly. Tape. The other one is Wrestling with Games did a GoldenEye video, talking about the background of GoldenEye and like going over again.
That was really good. I saw that on YouTube.
Yeah, how multiplayer was added in the last, like was not approved to be added. They added it and then showed it, and they only did it like weeks before the game was to ship.
And the fact that when you crouch, you just slide along the floor because they didn't have enough time to add the animations for a crouching walk.
So, but on the other hand, you just think about how important GoldenEye was and how better it was than Perfect Dark. And
how better it was in a game that didn't exist at the time. Yes.
That took all of everything it did and added more. But anyway.
So if you check out the Icon or Wrestling with Games, like both of those videos were pretty awesome. Yes, the Power. I have the Power Glove on my list of documentaries to watch. Hard Rockin' Guy. It is a documentary about the worst accessory released for the Nintendo.
And who made
there were way worse things in the
there
Power
were,
Glove.
but
the U-Force was worse than the Power Glove.
Literally, I believe the subtitle for the documentary is the baddest accessory released for.
Is that a play on what the guy says from the Wizard?
Right,
it's so
from the
bad.
Wizard.
Yeah,
it's so bad. I want to say that.
I will say, in defense, in slight defense of the U-Force, it came with a weird accessory. It was like a steering wheel. That was the only thing about the U-Force that was actually useful. It had this crazy thing where you could turn it left and right. and then it had a button on either side of the.
It's the yoke. It's the flight yoke.
It was a yoke.
Yeah,
but it had a button on either, a physical button that had a mechanical operator that flipped mirrors on the bottom of this thing, which would reflect the thing in the U-Force to say that was the point where the action would take place. And it worked so much better than waving your hands over a stupid, like, floating platform.
Well, that's the activator. Is that?
Well, no, I mean that.
Well, no,
like
the U-Force did that.
Also,
too.
the U-Force.
That was the U-Force. It was just like, just swipe your hand over this thing, and it will be left, right, A, B, select or start.
So anyway, that was a lot. So I'll make sure to give Aaron links so that he doesn't have to go find all this.
Yeah, we need links. We need to hear from Amanda as well.
Yeah, please. Let's move on to what we've been playing.
Amanda, please.
I have to say, I'm not very into video games. I did have a Nintendo as a child, and I loved the Olympics games where you have that mat and you're like running and jumping and doing hurdles.
The power pad.
And then I had the gun for, duck hunt, and then you're just standing very close to the TV because that's where.
If you're cheating, you are. But I mean,
no. If you're playing correctly,
if you're cheating, you're pointing it at a light bulb so that everything comes out as a white box.
That God,
you win all the time.
But and then I had a was it Game Boy and played Paperboy. Was it Paperboy and Tetris on?
Yep.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
This is where we have the discussion, and Aaron makes fun that someday he's going to get me back into board games, and I'm going to say, see, I've burned out on them as a child/teenager, and this is why
they've come a long way, my friend. If you look behind Amanda, you will see they've come a long way.
I see all those, and all I think about is thousands of dollars in Warhammer I spent.
But if you notice, maybe Amanda's in front of it. I don't think Amanda has Warhammer though. She's smiling.
Yeah, it's more tabletop. Anyway, yeah. So, or the multiple versions of Dungeons & Dragons I own, books downstairs that never got used.
Yeah.
So
I also think it's who you play with, who you play with. Like, I have a lot of different groups, so playing board games with a lot of different people who like different types of games helps keep it fresh. Helps you, keep playing different things, new games all the time. It kind of works your brain. I have very bad the coordination of the joystick to the video game is horrible. So I do horrible, except for those was it Mortal Kombat arcade style games where I'm just smashing as many buttons at the same time as possible. I win just by smashing as quickly as much as possible.
You infuriate people when you do that.
Yes.
The mechanics occur before the brain activity. Yeah.
But even doing the Lego game where you're trying to jump over something, and I'm I'm falling every single time. That's why I'll never play Fall Guys, because I will never win that.
Oh, I don't think I'll ever win that either. But yeah.
But yeah.
I got 3 crowns.
Oh wow.
So the PlayStation crowd seems much easier than the PC crowd. I'm just gonna say that. So because I'm pretty sure PlayStation has kind of fallen off also. So anyway, we should
there falling off. Okay.
We should move on to games we've been playing. And Amanda, so I mean, you talked about the first 2, I think, Cat Rescue and Cleocatra. Do you want to give a quick overview?
Yeah. What are the mechanics in those games? The genre.
So Cat Rescue is a co-op game where it's have you seen those plastic squares with little plastic squares and one's missing, and then you have to move them
a sliding puzzle around.
Yeah. It's God. Like a sliding puzzle. Because basically you're adding a cat to the shelter and you're sliding a cat out, and you're trying to get cats of the same color all in a row or all in a column, so that you can flip over the middle cats, which allows them to be scored at the end. And then once you get the flipped over cats pushed out of the little 4x4 grid, then you get to score those as well. It's really cute. The artwork's great, and it's a fun co-op. Fun. Yeah. And then Cleocatra.
I've never heard of that one before.
It's a good name.
It just came out.
It's a good name.
Yeah, like the it's cats. Tate loves cats, but basically you're triangles, and then triangle tiles of different colors, and then you're placing them out. And what you want is one triangle tile in the middle, surrounded by all 3 different colors. So you want 4 different colored tiles touching each other, and then you're just scoring the middle tile. But the thing is that people can move tiles. They can like put their meeple on your tile to score it before you, and it's a lot of like, that puzzle of like, if I do this first, am I going to wait? But someone might come in after me and, score it before me, and then I cannot score it. So it's a nice little puzzle.
Yeah. I got a prototype in the mail today for a game called Space Dinos. It's not like this, but it reminds me of placement, and you want to be in have certain stars around you with different numbers and colors. This looks pretty neat. And are those regular meeples, or are those like cat meeples?
No, they're regular meeples.
They remind me of meeples. You ever play Quadropolis?
Yes, I have Quadropolis.
They remind me of the Quadropolis meeples. I love those meeples in that game.
That's true. Well, I replaced them with like Panda meeples. When I was teaching Ruel and John, Ruel was a stormtrooper, John was a green dragon, that type of thing. So
John in a green dragon, I can see that. Yeah, John green dragon. Yeah. It all works out. Cleocatra, that came out this year.
Yeah. Okay. The Kickstarter backers just got it like last month.
Nice. That looks like fun.
Yeah, it is. I played Dice Forge on Board Game Arena. I also own it, and I really enjoyed it. And then I played older games, Tzolk'in, which very similar to Teotihuacan, which I can never say the name of. Teotihuacan.
Teotihuacan?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
The director of Thor 3? That's the best I got. Sorry. I can see myself.
That's Taika Waititi.
Yes.
Dad joke.
Can we go back to Dice Forge for just a second?
Sure.
Is this the game where you are changing the actual dice?
Yes.
How does that work?
So in Dice, they have like almost like Lego pieces where it snaps in. There's a big chunky die, and then each of the faces snap out and in, almost like a flat Lego piece. Okay. And then so everybody on everyone's turn, you're gonna roll your dice and you're gonna get something. On your turn, you can either forge, which is to buy more die faces that are better and place them on your dice, or you can go do a heroic feat, which is to get cards. And you're paying sun shards or moon shards to get cards to get either more resources or get points or get a special ability that messes with other people, or get, special die faces. And then it's very quick because there's only like 9 turns or nine or 10 rounds.
Okay.
And but you're constantly in there because you're constantly rolling your die on everybody's turn. And if they have something that will affect you, then you might have to roll your die and minus things, or you roll your die and then they can take from whatever they want on your dice. And yeah, so it's really interesting, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've seen it. It looks interesting. I think we'll have to add that to the list because I think you and John said you were going to teach me how to play Quacks of Quedlinburg. If Dice, what is it on Tabletopia or BGA?
BGA.
Yeah, so we'll have to add that to the list because I want to try that one.
Yeah, I think you like it. I mean, it's very quick, and once you get it, it's like, oh my gosh, I wish I had more turns. But yeah, you can
games that do that, like I like them, but yeah, if you waste 2 turns, you're done. Oh, let me put it this way: if you're playing with Amanda, you're done. Like, you're not going to win. So, if what's happened in the past isn't any indicator, what will happen in the future, and it probably is. Anyway,
we'll see. Who knows? So yeah, that's Dice Forge, and then Tzolk'in is like, it has a big. It's like what's it? It's a wheel it's a gear, and then it's connected to other wheel gears things, and then it clicks every single turn. I mean, after every round, it'll click, and then so like you're putting your people on the cheapest spot on each of the wheels, which is 0. And then it clicks. Or if you put it on 0, the next person has to pay 1 gold to put their person on that spot. And then after the round, it clicks. And then you get to pull off your people to get whatever you landed on. or else you have to pay corn to go back because someone has moved the gear, and you're like, oh, I didn't want to move, you know. And it's very much like, you know, like you have to think ahead, but then you have to think, how is it going to turn? Is someone going to turn it twice instead of just once? And then, you know, like, is someone going to build a building before I do? Because you're getting these resources to build buildings to get points, and then at the end you have to pay your people, feed your people, workers and stuff like that. And it's basically all you're doing is either placing out workers, or you're taking workers and doing the action that the space is on, the worker is on, where it lands. Yeah, so it's interesting. It is kind of mind melting because it's like, oh, you know, you have to calculate your money precisely. You have to calculate, I'm going to wait for it to click to a certain spot before pulling off my worker, but then am I wasting a turn? You know, just pulling off one workers instead of 3. When do I want more workers? Because I have to feed them all. You know, it's pretty interesting. I think the Teotihuacan, I still can't say it, is that's a little bit...
That's intimidating. John taught me that one. I'm nothing against him. It's just that game. It's just so much.
There. Yeah, that one is actually simpler than this one, than Tzolk'in. Yeah. Like,
okay.
Yeah. Because nothing moves. You see everything as it is. You will see what you can do on your turn. On this one is you're placing your workers, and then you have to think, oh, it's going to turn. So I got to place it where I know I'm going to pull it when it's the next, you know, spot down. You're not pulling it where it is right now. So things are moving on you. So yeah. So Tzolk'in's going to be a little bit harder to visualize and focus on.
I'm looking at a YouTube video of it right now as you're describing it, and I'm like, I would be horrible at this game. Guaranteed.
Aaron, you have fun with that. So.
But it does look very cool, like the way somebody designed all this. I was like,
those skull meeples, man. That's
yeah.
Yeah, it does.
And then you're turning in the skulls to go up on the
gears
tracks
and everything. Yeah, this looks. Yeah. I want to try this. Was this you play this on what?
VGA.
Okay, let's look. The list is getting longer, man. I don't know. You're creating more work for yourself, basically, to teach
the backlog is increasing. What?
Imagine, you know.
I just keep introducing you to more games.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. This looks really. Yeah, well, it's funny. It looks less busy than Teotihuacan, but with the gears and stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a lot of movement to try to keep up with. Wait a minute, where am I going to land on the next?
Did I win yet? No. Okay, let's try it again. I failed.
And there is like two. There's two things you have to go on. You know, like there's the
like trackers.
The temples. Like there's 2 tracks. There's the temples, and then there's the technology track where it makes it. You get more stuff when you do stuff. So then you have to like calculate, do I want to go up on this track? Do I have enough to go up on the temples? Like the temples is the points, but the technology track is where you're going to make it easier for you to do everything else, you know? So It's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's one of the more heavier games on that list that I put out. But yeah.
But we played some heavy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, so on the other hand, we have Fort, which is a lot lighter.
And Fort is a reskinning of another game.
Yes.
I can't think of the name of it.
I forgot what the name. No, it's like some letters.
Yeah.
SPQJ or something like that, right?
That sounds. Yeah, we'll go with that. We will go
easy. Whether it's true or not. Well, that's cool.
I never played that game, but John. Yeah, I heard that it was not streamlined enough. Like Fort is a streamlined version with really cute art, and John taught it to me on Tabletop Simulator, and it's really. I mean, there is take that, and there is a little bit of like, oh, you can block or hate draft, but I feel like it's fun because it's a deck building game, and I really enjoy deck building.
I like them as well. Although I play them digitally, not a lot, but regularly. But with my family, I have not played a deck builder in a while. It's time. It's time to take Mystic Vale off the shelf again.
So, what's your favorite deck builder then, Aaron?
Probably like right now, Mystic Vale. So
I was gonna say you
probably
talk a lot about Mystic
because it's so much fun. I love it.
So I play on the app, and I like the app. I like it physical. I have the base physical game of Mystic Vale, but I really enjoy the app.
I have. I have it on Steam, the Switch, my phone, the microwave, the sky.
Well, you just hitting
Mike's new dishwasher. Like,
I think John has Mystic Vale.
I don't know, John. I know he's in the chat.
Yeah. Well, even if he can't, we should play.
Yeah, definitely.
That
so
one
Tiny,
I know.
like, you would not like. Would you play a deck builder? Have you played any deck builders at all?
I mean, God, what is the? I mean, I have a lot of experience with TCGs in the past, because again, that like Magic and Star Trek and Star Wars and Vampire and.
Well, this one is more.
But this is self-contained.
Yes.
And what's the one? What's the one with like 40 different expansions?
Dominion.
Dominion. So I played Dominion.
Okay,
like,
so if you know Dominion, you're good.
I mean, yeah. So I'll just have my Switch over here, and you guys enjoy.
Well, you can play Dominion through the what is it, Dominion?
Oh, I'm aware. I'm capable of playing all of these games.
You're just not interested.
You just have no intention of doing it.
I am not planning on it, but I'm aware. I know
I can.
We did 10 hours of board games a month, like a month and a week
and it was
ago.
fantastic.
You got your time out of me.
It's like 10 hours a month or 10 hours every 2 months is your
He's
math?
lucky he got that out of me in this year. Because like, okay, they played, Aaron wanted like a couple hours of last year's Extra Life to play board games. And I've got to say, I watched them play Jaws, and that did not seem like a game.
I will say, now that I've watched the Jaws movie again in its entirety, I think I might be like a little bit more understanding of why they made the game the way that they did.
Thematically, it was on point.
Yeah.
The shark kills everyone but 2 people. Like,
right.
Everyone else it meets is dead,
including the director.
So, but like I will also say, this is the second time we talked about this on the show in like this month or whatever. HD does not do Jaws the movie any favors. The shark looks even rougher in HD.
Yeah.
I mean, it is 50-ish years old.
Is it that old?
So. Not quite, but it's getting there.
It's approaching there. Yeah, it's in the 70s. So,
hey, I was born in the 70s. What are you saying?
You're approaching 50 years old. Like this is how time progresses. I don't think.
I don't know.
Wait, are you saying
technically everybody alive is approaching 50?
No. There are people who are over 50 that are no longer approaching 50.
Aaron, you are going to get to 50 before I do. So, yeah. But I mean, anyway, I don't mind board games. I'm happy to play. I just played through Tharsis, which is, I would say, a digital board game, essentially.
Oh, yeah. That is dice placement in
that's
the
great.
meanest way there is.
I am more than happy for the computer to do all the math, because I do enough math at work. Well, I am so happy for...
You do realize that of the games we're talking about, we're playing them on a computer, probably.
Yeah, but see, there's a different... We learned from that stream, there are different levels of automation. I think it was Board Game Arena. That was probably the one I liked most because it did most of the work.
It does.
As compared to Board Game Simulator, where I still couldn't figure out how to pick up a single card. I just picked up the whole deck every time.
It's a light click.
Yeah, it's not press and hold.
It's a digital click. My mouse doesn't have a...
it's not an analog click on my mouse.
Get your GameCube mouse.
It's like you hold it to that moment where it like double clicks.
Ben is right, though. Everybody does that, though.
And understood, but that's why I would be more than happy to be like, cool, I'll go play Mario Kart. So
Double Dash
with a mouse and dice.
And anyway, like it's all different things, but like also to like not the self-contained card games, but like to the TCGs where you have to go buy packs.
I'm not doing that stuff.
A new flavor every 3 months when I was growing up.
Yeah, I don't.
We played all of them.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't collect those
like
things.
Magic, and like I said, Magic, Star Wars, Vampire the Masquerade. I don't know why we played that game, but we bought, I don't know, $50 worth of cards of it. So
It sounds like you
I
made
got a free
mistakes
pack
in
of
your
that
youth.
with a purchase of a magazine once. And,
Yeah.
and I never opened it.
Aaron,
Oh,
I
it's
did
worth
that.
a lot more than now.
Yeah, it's probably.
I think I gave it away. I don't know. I definitely had a sealed booster pack of Vampire the Masquerade from the early to later 90s that I held on to all these years, and then I sold all my Magic cards, and at least at this point, whether I have anything or not, I feel like I'm rid of all of it. I don't need that infection in my life anymore. It's
Purge.
And I mean, yeah, like Pokemon card, man, so many Pokemon cards. But the whole reason is, and Aaron's now been to this store. There's a store in Delaware called Days and Nights. And it's a great store. It's where I spent a good chunk of my childhood. But it's a money pit that I really should have made better life decisions.
Sure.
So, my Warhammer 40K armies were at a friend's house in high school, and then we stopped talking, and I never saw those Warhammer 40K armies.
That's very expensive.
No.
That warrants,
That's
knocking on a
sad.
door,
So-
smashing
Yeah,
a window.
that's where it becomes legal to break into their house and steal all of it back because you're not.
It wasn't
stealing anything.
malicious. It's not like he took them. We stopped talking. I got into other stuff. Like we went to different schools, and we got into other stuff, and like
no.
by the time we reconnected,
you stop by, go get your stuff.
Yeah, I say once you said different schools, I was like, oh, this is long enough ago. They might not even live there anymore.
Oh yeah, no, this was middle school, high school.
Oh yeah, I don't
like,
get it now. I meant
No,
at the time you go get your
right,
stuff.
like this,
Not now. It's done.
This was
He should have given it back to you.
Probably that's. It's not like
That's on him. He's going to hell. You don't need to worry about that.
That's right.
Anyway, Chris was a good guy. We grew
Well, I don't
apart.
know.
Don't make excuses. He's a terrible person.
We
He
grew
stole from
apart.
me in the nicest way.
We went to again. I don't know if you can call it stealing if I leave it at your house.
Yeah, but did you say, Chris, I'm bequeathing this to you? If
No,
if
but
you
I
didn't
also
say that.
I also didn't go back to his house and get it.
Yeah, this is on you.
Yeah, like I don't understand how
I feel
it's
like
on
there's a
anyone
lot
but
of
me.
blame to spread around with a ladle.
So yeah, again,
Okay.
but all of like this was my youth where I spent my time, and then now if you talk to people that knew me in high school, they would be like, "Oh, you're the computer and board or video game guy." So it's just I went through different phases.
Well, you had a clean break from one of those two things.
Well, exactly, because
And
again,
you have Chris to thank.
we've talked on this. We've talked on the show before. My parents didn't like video games, which was obviously a mistake they made.
So you said,
Look-
I'm going to burn the board games.
Well, no, like video games weren't allowed in the house. Computers were okay because that's how you got a
Sure.
job.
That's
But
exactly right.
we
So
didn't.
I
we
made
didn't-
Did you ever get
friends
that
with
job
John
playing
Carmack
Doom,
and John
or-
Romero.
So I mean, anyway.
Did you get that
I've
Duke
met John
Nukem
Romero.
internship that you were angling
So-
for, or whatever?
I mean, I did make video games for about a year of my.
That's true.
Oh, well, I've worked on multiple games, but after college, I moved to Canada and made Madden and Tiger Woods and whatnot.
And and what was it? Rock Revolution for the DS.
I was at the launch party for Rock Revolution for the
Nah,
DS.
it's
That
your
was the
fault.
game.
This-
That was the game they launched when I moved there. But like NBA 10 has my name in the credits.
I was gonna say, I was hoping you were gonna say your name was in the credits of Rock Revolution, and it said
No.
showed up at the very end.
showed up at the launch party they had in Halifax, Nova Scotia, because I lived in Nova Scotia. Anyway,
And it just said Tiny because they hadn't even figured out what your name was yet.
I mean, wouldn't be the first time. I had a teacher I TA'd for in most of college that literally had the school write the check out to Tiny the first time because he did not know what my actual.
Why did he just ask what your name was?
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to know. That's
He carried everything around in a bucket. He was an earth and space science teacher. He
Wait,
carried
now,
everything in a
that part
metal
of this
bucket.
story I've never heard before.
Like
The
a
bucket part.
what kind
like
of
a
bucket?
metal pail, like what you would use if you were going on a really cheap archaeology.
Like if you wanted to make a sandcastle.
Yes. pails. He carried all the papers, everything he used to grade them, all in this pail. I love Dr.
Did
Krieger.
he like curl it
man.
up to fit it in the pail? How does that
work? Everything met the pail size.
Was the pail moist or was it dry?
It was all, as far as I know, always dry. Because I took that man for like 3 different courses and then became his TA. And he still did not know my actual name until
a problem.
I had to go to the school registrar.
But why would like a functioning adult think they could write a check out to just Tiny? Like why?
It's true.
Like I can't cash this. I need this rewritten in my actual name.
You know my name, do you?
Just write Tiny on the back where it says sign your name, and then it's made out to cash.
Well, I should have signed it over to myself from Tiny.
Exactly.
Anyway, so
that was very nice.
That was a walk down memory lane.
You should probably let Amanda finish up what she played.
Because Fort and Taverns.
Yes,
I watched the Fort stream.
Did you?
I did.
I didn't get a chance to watch that one.
Last Friday.
At you.
We're talking for Amanda, though.
Yes, Amanda.
Man, if you want to talk about Forts.
So Fort's a deck building game with a little take back because any cards that you don't use on your turn, you put it in your yard in front of you and someone else can take it. And so it's like when you are trying to build your deck, you want to have some of everything because then you can follow the action of someone else if you have the same symbol. But you also want a lot of one symbol because if you have it all in your hand, you can use them all possibly. And you're trying to get cute things like toys and pizza to either, use to level up your fort or to stick in your backpack and get some points that way. And it's a really cute theme and very beautiful artwork. There is just a bit of take that. And I was talking on that stream that if it was me playing with a whole bunch of strangers at a con, I wouldn't, I would be a little trepidatious because, it's a take that. And if you happen to start with a good hand, people are just going to continually take your cards. And then you're going to end up with like 2 cards, which is the ones that they cannot take. And if one person is ganged up upon like quote unquote, like people just keep on taking their cards, I think it would be a horrible game to play, in that setting. But like with your friends, they're just taking it because that's like the best card on the board or the card that gives you the most points on the board. But for most take that games, I usually like to play 2-player because it's going to be take that with just that one person.
It's
inevitable.
What I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So it's not personal. They're not like focusing on you, that type of thing. And I have sadly, being a girl, I have gone to a meetup and randomly played with a bunch of guys and been like, oh, let's take her out first. And it's like, oh, okay.
You guys are terrible. I mean, seriously, they are the worst.
So, poor John, he's so sweet. He's like, I don't understand why people would try to take you out first. But don't they want to just play the game?
Yeah,
and
but like why? I haven't been to that many board game conventions, but I cannot imagine sitting down with people that I know and a stranger comes in and just going after. Why would why?
Well, it's different because
No, it's one of the kids is doing something goofy.
Yeah. Okay, I was about to say, are you pointing to someone specific? But anyways, no,
this is
like if
child
it's
right
just
here,
if it's just like you and a friend and they're very introverted or they're very shy, they might go after you because you know each other, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And they just constantly go after you and you're just like, dude, stop, right? Or like it's a couple and then they just support each other and they just make sure that they're defending each other or whatever, right?
Well,
so
I guess that's more acceptable than going after a complete stranger. Between the two.
Well, but I mean, at that point, if there's only 3 people,
they are kind of going after you by default. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, right.
And plus, I was going to a game store where it was like 98% male, and and half the tables were war games, and I was, and it was very awkward for me to say hi, and then sit down, and then we're playing a game, and they don't know me, right? So then they find it maybe easier to go after a stranger than their own friend. Who knows? But I was like, oh, peace out. I'm not coming back here unless it's with like some support and buddies and
I mean, like
that's a real thing.
It's a strange like I was gonna say conundrum, but that's not really the word I'm going for, because it's like either you say like not you, but like the people who have the established table and you walk up to them, they're looking at it like either you're an outsider and how fast can we get you out of here because we don't know you, or is it like this is somebody new and we want to engage with them. Engaging with them means targeting them and like
it doesn't have to be though.
Really obliterating them from the game, which is like neither one is great. Yeah. Like I mean, ideally everybody should just look at it from either a strategic or having fun standpoint of, am I doing this only because I want to win, but in a theoretically fair sense, or is it just I want to bring you in because hey, the more people the merrier. I want to have another person that's willing to play games with us more regularly, which seems like the right way to go. Most games that I play that are not video game centric are, I'm doing this to have fun. I want other people to join in and also enjoy. If I win, if you win, it's like I don't really care, because it's a matter of let's all get together and spend some time together and just have fun, because this is a game of we are people sitting around and rolling pieces of plastic or dropping pieces of cardboard or whatever it is. Like I feel like there's a totally different dynamic between video games and board games in the sense of what are you in this for? Whereas video games feel like more competitive to me in a multiplayer sense, and board games feel more like, sure, I'd like to win, but I don't want to be ruthless about it. I'd rather be like, let's all just have fun, and then add it up at the end and then see who won, and then just go, hey, good for you. Let's play another one.
I have to say that like 90% of board gamers are like that. I mean, majority of board games are like that. But of course, there are those that will like hate draft just so that you will not win, or they will beat you by 2 points. They just don't want to, be the loser, right? Or the last place. And there's a lot of competitive people out there in board games too. But it's usually like fun competitive. I mean, they can be really competitive, and that's why they have terms like kingmaker or hate drafting or AP or those terms come out to people because people are competitive.
Analysis paralysis.
Analysis paralysis. Because they're thinking of everything that they can do, and they're trying to figure out the highest number of points instead of just like, I'll just try some strategy and see what happens, So I have to say like 90% of board game community is awesome, and they do it for fun and for the interaction and any of the stories or fun jokes that comes out to like hanging out with people that you really like or around something that's interesting to do, but just like with any community, there are people that are like, oh, girls are not war gamers, or girls don't like heavy games,
that's unfortunate. It really is, because if you want an exclusive boys only club, like then don't play with anybody than your closest friends. If you just want to get together with you and like two of your other buddies and just sit in a dark room and be like, who's the best, male idiot of the bunch, then just do that. But if you want to engage with the general public and say, whoever else is interested in this game, come join and play with us, then be accepting and let other people play of any persuasion. And that's that. Like it. If you want to draw lines, draw them ahead of time, and don't say I want more people to show up. Oh, but not you. Let's get you out of here. Like that's just so close-minded and like idiotic way of dealing with whatever minuscule problem you have, which is, oh, we need a fourth person. We only have 3. We need a 4. Oh, but not anybody but who we want, which is another one of me.
But I mean, think of where we are right now. So I mean, there's time.
I know.
You know, so I mean, but yes, I completely agree, and I'm so glad that there are people like you and Aaron and even Tiny that will be more open.
Man, that felt like a backhanded compliment. So,
Tiny's like, you know what? Nobody play.
Everyone else more than welcome to play. I'm just
yes.
And I mean to just to make it clear, like I'm kind of sort of in the middle, but maybe slightly more to Tiny's side. I don't do a ton of board gaming, but you know, my mom really loves getting together and playing like very non-competitive party games where it's like something like Scattegories is very simple.
That gets competitive. Like that's one of Tracy's favorites.
But
that gets competitive.
As I said the last time I brought this up, as soon as that game gets competitive, that's when I check out and I say, I don't care anymore. We're just playing this as a social gathering kind of a situation.
No. If whoever loses has to walk home.
No, that is
stakes,
not what Scattegories is about. Scattegories is it's like an icebreaker game. You're just doing it to have fun, and if you get to the point where you're angry at whatever somebody else is doing, we've already lost. The whole table is lost. That's my problem with that. It's like if you want a very simple game just to have fun and not care about anything other than we'll pass the time and enjoy each other's company, Scattegories is perfect for that. But if one person says, no, I have to be the victor, the game is lost for everyone. That's the way I feel.
This feels very War Games like. The only way to play is not to play.
Yeah, we had our neighbors over. I think there were maybe 12, 13 people. We made copies of the Scattegories things.
Oh yeah, so everybody could have their own. Yep.
It was good. It got cutthroat, but it was still all in good fun.
Right. Right.
You should try just one.
Oh, we have that. Yeah.
Try just one with your mom.
For the 4th, my cousin's house. Yeah, I stunk off the place. But you know what else?
You haven't played just one, or I
played a lot of it, but I brought it, but then I made everybody lose
terribly.
Pretty much. Oh. It was. They wrote down things that just didn't make sense to me. I'm like, what? I don't know, cemetery? It was graveyard. I'm like, I don't.
Wait, it's the same thing.
I was gonna say if you said cemetery and the answer was graveyard,
but you're supposed to get the actual,
See, that's stickler.
Those are literally they're not even just synonyms. They're the same. They're literally the same meaning. Like there's no variance in between the difference between a cemetery and a graveyard.
Maybe I said maybe I wasn't. Maybe what I said was not synonymous, but it was close, but not as John just said, close.
The story is changing. I see.
I said grave digger, and it turned out to be graveyard.
It was actually Bigfoot the truck. I said grave digger. I thought they were the same thing.
I said Truckosaurus, but they all looked at me like.
So the one thing I guess I can add to this is I have started watching a lot of Warhammer 40K YouTube.
Here we go.
People playing together, and they're not competitive there. Like everyone is they're calling each other on the helping each other with the rules and whatnot because 40K and Games Workshop keeps changing everything, which seems very different than when I played that game where it was.
You have scars
I'm going to win
to the death. Yeah,
I'm going to win.
Yes.
And whoever survives breathing in all this lead paint is definitely the winner.
The lead paint on the miniatures.
The pewter that the miniatures all made out of.
Jeez, did you go back in time and acquire some lead paint
from 1972?
Sure.
So anyway, you both have this Tiefenthal?
Taverns of Tiefenthal.
Tiefenthal, thank you. I had that in my head earlier.
I've heard Tiefenthal too. I don't know. Tiefenthal, one of them.
So, what about that game? Because both you and Aaron have that listed as a game.
Well, we played together.
I called myself teaching it. Of course, I lost.
Oh, this was the late night one. Yes, I watched you teach this.
Yeah, exactly. Amanda looked at the rules.
Let me explain how to lose this game.
What you do is do the opposite of what I do, and then
what do you do with this beer? Do you pass it around? What beer?
Well, I mean, in board games, if you're the teacher and you're teaching well, you're helping everyone else, which means you will lose because you're not a strategy, right?
Okay, but let's be honest. I was asking you questions about the rules halfway through.
About the game Aaron brought.
I think I was supposed to be teaching.
Now, I know you've talked about this game for many months at this point, Aaron.
Yes.
Like this has come up.
I was wondering where that was going.
No, I mean this isn't the first I've heard of this game. Like you've brought this up.
It's a fun game. It's a good game. It's dice placement. You own a tavern and you're trying to get rich people to come there and get drinks essentially.
So have you played what's that other dice worker placement game? Kingsburg, right?
I have not played that one.
Okay, because like that's also you roll dice and then you place your dice to do certain stuff. It's a dice worker placement game as well. And I was just wondering how you would compare it to Taverns.
Oh, I can't, unfortunately. I haven't played that one, but I am a big fan of Fantastic Factories, which is their expansions and now on Kickstarter. I highly recommend that game. That is so much fun.
But that's an engine builder. Like this one, Taverns of Tiefenthal is like a deck builder instead of an engine builder.
Yes.
In a way.
And you get to use your cards right away, which is nice too.
Yeah, that's true.
So we should play that again.
Yeah.
It sounds like you guys have a better handle on it now.
Yeah, so. I mean the pressure is off. I don't expect to win. I expect to have fun. That's what I play for. So.
Gotcha.
We'll have to figure out which rules we house ruled, which rules were rolled.
Oh yeah, because I think one of the modules, because I couldn't explain it, we just skipped it. Because I couldn't.
Well, also, weren't you guys supposed to be doing stuff at the same time, or you were supposed to do stuff in different turns, but then John was doing it at the same time? I remember something about that during some part of the game.
All of our cadences weren't necessarily lined up, which is fine because you're thinking about what you want to do. And everybody's not going to do everything at the same time. But yeah, but we got it enough, though. But this time I will try to be better prepared for explaining the module that lets you start off with some certain cards. You start off with different resources. So that changes it up a bit.
Okay. So. Before we move on, Amanda, I got 2 questions for you about games behind you.
Okay.
One, is that Scandal the game based on the TV show Scandal?
Yes, I got it as a gift. It's in the pile of... Okay, so yeah, that pile from
I see Firefly too.
Okay, Firefly's staying, right? But everything above Firefly, except for the Panda games at the top, are like, I gotta figure out if I'm going to be selling that or not. But yeah, that is Scandal, the game based on the TV show.
The popular TV show.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
And then the other one,
Kerry Washington.
The other one is that
a
Warehouse 13 game based on the sci-fi original series Warehouse 13.
Yes,
everyone's
that hasn't been on TV for like 5 years.
Yes, I love
that show was great. Oh, that show was wonderful. But
they had a Kickstarter for the game based on that show.
Okay.
I think was it Eddie? Yeah, the guy, the main guy. He was.
Eddie McClintock or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. I mean, again, that would be just another game I'd buy and then stick in the closet, along with like that Batman animated series game that's going to show up someday.
Presumably.
But I just kept seeing. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's Warehouse 13, and why would there be a Warehouse 13 board game?
I also have the Mechs vs. Minion, the League of Legends, that game.
Okay.
I don't know anything about that one.
It's huge with a bunch of miniatures for like such a cheap price. Because,
I remember people talking about the quality of the miniatures and just the number that came with it.
Yeah, and like the inserts are vacuum sealed. It was like a perfectly produced, except for the rulebook had to get fixed a little bit. But like all the miniatures, oh my gosh, it was like such a good deal because they didn't need to make money off the game.
League of Legends prints their own money, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, very cool. Yeah, I kept seeing the Warehouse. I'm like, I have to ask him.
I see. Clay,
and then I saw Scandal, the game.
Calico, Potion Explosion, and Arboretum.
My favorite, Takanoko.
It's funny. Somebody gave that to me, and I haven't played it yet. I should probably.
Takanoko?
No, I have. Somebody gave me that and Dominion, and I have not played them yet.
Takanoko's on VGA. Let's add it to the list.
Let's add it to the list.
Do we want to skip to you, Aaron, to talk about your analog games to keep this board game ship rolling?
Yeah, I'll be brief. We've been at this for quite some time. Played a little game called Mini Steel. It's up on Kickstarter now. Like the box is like crazy small. The cards are it's going for like a small box, but then there's a lot in. There's one die in it, and then there's like a bunch of like health tokens. Basically, the whole point, everybody gets 10 health points, and you're trying to use card combinations to attack and poison everybody to kill them. So I probably need to record my preview tomorrow and get that running, because the Kickstarter is already began, so I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball on that one. Amari, the developer of Rap Godz, sent me Hoop Godz prototype of that. So I had some questions about it. It's sort of a dexterity kind of dice rolling game where you're trying to roll die to like get rebound, shoot, everything, and everybody's going at the same time. So it's very quick, very fast. So he walked me through some of that yesterday, which is pretty cool. As I mentioned earlier about having access to people who it's great when you can do it. I can't call, Rainer Knizia to ask about, lost cities, but
how would you resolve this issue?
How would you do this? So, yeah. So that if you have, it's nice to be able to reach out to people and say, hey, what do I do here? Like, oh, you do this. It's okay, cool. Now let's keep moving.
Oh yeah, I do that with Tate all the time. Even on stream, I'm like, Tate, you're in the chat. Tell me,
What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly. And then like John couldn't beat the Autobot, right?
Yeah.
On Wingspan.
Yep.
And he posted on Twitter, and then of course Elizabeth, the creator, designer, actually replied to him, was like, hey, here's a tip. And you're like, oh wow, that's really cool.
Do you have Wingspan on Steam?
I do not. I know you guys want me to play with you.
Oh, we're supposed to be playing with Elizabeth on the 23rd. So
awesome.
So if you pick it up,
yeah,
you should play with us.
Okay.
So. And Elizabeth was on the show like
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, yeah.
2.5 weeks ago. So.
A lot of good information about just her and just the game design and of course Mariposas and Wingspan. So good stuff there. Still playing Camp Pinetop solo. I need to play it with others, but I'm still playing it solo because basically the solo game, there's like 8 different scenarios you go through. So I've done the first one twice because I haven't you can get like a super badge. It's like a scouting theme where you're trying to collect badges. So I want to earn this one badge, which I think you carry it with you, and it gives you a perk for the other scenarios. So I want to earn that one before I move on. Solo game called The Abandons. Small box. You're in a dungeon, and you're laying. The whole point is, I think you start off with the entrance card, and then the last card at the bottom of the deck is the exit card, and you're trying to make it through the exit, but you get rid of certain cards as you keep going. So, but you want to get to the end, but if you run out of, if you hit a dead end, you have to you have to backtrack. It's fun. I don't know how often I'd pull it out. As a solo thing, I think I might lean more towards something like Sprawlopolis. Something like that, but it's pretty cool. Pizza from Amusa Games, wonderful components, and they launched their Kickstarter, and then they stopped it the second day because they just wasn't getting the traction they wanted. But they sent an email out today saying it's still back on, or they're still going to release it. So because they sent Pizza, Circus, and Bugs, so 3 family style games, because it's Game Brewers I guess family-friendly branding. Right. But pizza's really cool. You're basically trying to get toppings on pizza slices to satisfy customers. It's really nice, very cute game. Nice components to it. And
Kickstarter is weird because they have certain algorithms, and people say if you don't make certain amount of money by the first day, you should just cancel. And you're just like, why? And then I guess they're following that, or if you didn't make so many much percentage of your money within the first week, you just should cancel it and don't worry about it and then start it later. I'm like, I would be a little bit hesitant to back if they're just going to cancel and restart every time, but
yeah, because And it's funny. I've done a lot of previews for prototypes this year. There's only ever done actually, so it only could be this year. And a lot of them, not a lot, but like a good number of them, they don't make it, and they're fun games.
Oh, that's sad.
But what I find is some people have no social media presence at all. Like you can't really have like no Twitter, just started your Instagram, and maybe have a Facebook page for your game. It's hard. You need a way to communicate with people. So and I feel bad because they're fun games that no one's gonna get a chance to play.
Yeah, but designers are not necessarily good social media, people. They're not good advertisers, or they're not good, like.
And it's tough too.
Accounting, it's basically a small business. They have to figure out all at the same time.
Yeah, those are different skills altogether.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. And people do the best they can, and I mean, they were good about reaching out to people to get the product or an early version of it in people's hands to say, hey, I like it. That's what I like. And yeah, you're right. Those are, you're a one-stop shop, essentially. Yeah. And there's a lot of competition, as we know. There's Kickstarters. There's a Kickstarter for this podcast right now. Just,
Excellent.
We just launched it. So.
We're finally going to make money on this podcast?
Yes.
So 10 years in?
Do we have any stretch goals?
To get more pizza.
Okay. I'm in.
It's something.
Buy for all.
I'm shocked we went the Kickstarter route instead of the OnlyFans route. So I mean, it's cool.
Wow.
I only learned about the name of whatever that is today.
Really?
And yeah, because I'm like, why would I care about anything on the internet that doesn't involve me immediately?
Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I'm not seeking out anything that I'm not already interested in. Whatever this weird site is.
OnlyFans is essentially just like adult Kickstarter, and not necessarily an adult like the XXX adult version.
But that's
the impression I got was the one thing that
there is a part to it. Yes, I agree. But like I have friends that have OnlyFans that are not doing that.
But it's still people just saying, "Hey, give me money, please," right?
In exchange for like whatever their
shoulders
their
needs
stuff
doing.
Like, yes, I don't understand.
In exchange for whatever the content they are producing. Yes.
If I don't want to give money to people who sit around and play video games that I want to see, why would I want to give money to people that do things that I don't care about?
Well, I mean, like to reference the beginning of this podcast. You went to Twitch to see someone play a game and not say anything. So maybe you're just not the audience.
But 100%. But to refine my point, I went to see on Twitch the Mario 35 because I knew it just came out today, and I figured it's more likely somebody's playing it live right now than somebody's already made a like edited nice the way I want to see it video on YouTube.
Gotcha.
So anyway, those are the analog games that I've been enjoying. So.
Well, I mean, Amanda, we want to be respectful of your time, and I even lied to you at the beginning of this and said, "Oh yeah, like an hour and a half, 2 hours."
Yeah, we've really gone well and beyond.
So, like, I want to give you, a way out that you don't feel bad about. So, like, feel free if you need to get out of here, feel free. If not, I mean, we're good.
up to you. However you want to handle it.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I will gracefully bow out. But I have to say, it was fun. It didn't feel like 2.5 hours.
Well, good. I'm
time
glad.
flies.
That's because it also took us a half an hour to get it live. But I mean, yeah.
I blame Aaron for that one.
I blame Aaron for that one.
I also blame Aaron.
What would you like to plug and shout out?
So every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific, I play games on BoardinEastla on Twitch at Book of Nerds with John and Ruel, and that's always fun. My Twitch handle is Panda Angel, Panda, the number 8, NGEL. And my Instagram for games is this_panda_loves with an S _games with an S.
This panda
loves games.
Okay.
With underscores. Yeah. I don't know why I picked that one, but
that's underscore is not spelled out, right?
No, it's just
Oh, that would actually be awesome.
That would have been amazing.
This underscore.
This 100-character username
Right?
is not valid.
This name is broken Instagram. Thank you.
Yes, exactly.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you for your time. Normally we get to the games part like sooner, but we're just running our mouths.
Fun getting to know each other. It was great. Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
That's what gaming is like. The social gaming is about, is getting together, getting to know each other, have fun, pass the time. The next thing you know, 3 days have passed and you haven't had a shower.
Well, hopefully.
All right.
Deodorant.
We've gone in a direction.
We attend conventions differently, so
We used to.
Yeah.
Someone's
that's
played
true.
Twilight Imperium. And
I've not played that. I've heard it takes a week.
I have.
Hey, see, look at
Again,
you.
yeah.
Another board game that has burned me on a board game.
Well, that one might that's a
And Arkham, not Arkham Asylum, Arkham Horror.
Arkham Horror.
The
Arkham,
expansions. There used to be a board game group at the University of Delaware where I'd go and play, and yeah, that was the end of the love of board games.
Yeah.
And now I just have a cold heart for video games. That's it. It's a real shame.
We'll keep
No,
trying.
it's not. Anyway, but man, yeah, it's been great to have you on, Amanda. So
Thank you.
And I'll contact you about all the Wingspan, everything like that. So, yeah.
about the 30 games
I'll
you
be
guys
fine.
added to the list.
Well, Wingspan has been scheduled. That one, that one has a date and a time. And John swears he's gonna lose, so that's I'm all in.
Oh, you say you're gonna lose? I'm in.
I'm here.
I think the designer would probably win of the game.
I'm thinking that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's gonna know her own game.
Yeah, exactly.
well.
But thank you so much. This has been fun. Ask me back on and I'll be happy to talk more about board games.
Most definitely.
Sounds good.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good night. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
So while we're doing this, Michael, what have you been playing?
Well, so what was it? Saturday last night, a group of us got together and we played some things online.
That was weird. We played games together.
I know.
It was a lot of fun. I gotta tell you, like by the time it was done, I was like, you know what? That was so much fun.
Why don't we do that more often?
Yeah, why don't we do that more often? But I think we played exactly 3 games, right? We started with Hotshots Racing.
Yes.
Which is a game that I had downloaded, I think, and never touched on Xbox because it was part of Game Pass. I described it at the time, and I still kind of feel this way, that it's sort of like a more modern day version of the original Ridge Racer, where Tiny, I think you were thinking of it more along the lines of Daytona USA.
Daytona. I think the art style is definitely what pushes me towards Daytona.
And I agree. I do think the art style is closer to Daytona, but like something about the way it moves,
there's a lot more drifting like Ridge Racer.
I feel like you have to earn the money to trick out the car, because some of those turns, just the drifting, you're just going to crash into the wall every time or spin out.
So there's also the important thing to note, and I know this is a privileged position. I was playing with an Xbox Pro controller. And I had the the trigger stops on because that's how I play. Like
I was playing with an Ouya controller, but continue.
And if you have the trigger stops on, you can never get to full speed because you can't depress the trigger.
That is how analogs work. If you don't get to the full,
right. If you can't depress the button the full way. So for the first 2, I was trying to figure out why I was always in last place and like significantly behind everyone else.
You know the way that those trigger stops work is you can still kind of pull past them because they're just physical barriers that don't impede you 100%.
Oh,
so
that sounds like I'm going to break it.
Yes.
I'm not
100%. But if you squeeze harder than the thing is resisting, you'll still get more acceleration than it is trying to impede you to.
Mike, I'm not going to break my $150 controller.
Hey, I already broke one and bought another one, and that was a piece of trash. So
also, I don't want the new one that has the non-replaceable battery in it. My dilemma is I think
I planned to take them both apart and take the good pieces of the one and put them into the acceptable outside pieces of the other. And I just didn't care because I realized I don't like... The only thing about the Elite controller that I really like is the weight of it. Because I'm fine with the D-pad. I don't use the little paddles. And... I like the slight adjustments of the software of the sensitivity of the analog. I've never found a good compromise that's any better than the stock. So it's really the rubber grips and the weight of the trigger of the controller itself. Other than that, regular controller is just fine as long as it doesn't drift. Unfortunately, every Xbox controller that I own drifts to some degree or another.
Good. I guess I should look into it.
I mean, the Switch can't be alone. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Man, my Switch my Joy-Cons are in rough shape.
It totally depends on the game itself, but one of the most sensitive things that I've found on the Xbox console itself is navigating the map on Warzone and Call of Duty. That will tell you how much your controller drifts.
Gotcha.
That explains a lot now.
I played a
lot of COD this week. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's why you were losing.
That's a weird statement coming from you, Aaron.
Because it was just like, I thought I was doing great, but it turns out my controller was busted.
I just again don't consider. I mean, I know your feelings on Battlefield, so I guess I also translate that to Call of Duty.
No, I play most of them, and yeah.
Understood. I've played Battlefield with you, and how angry you've gotten at Battlefield.
Think about Battlefield.
I'm never playing those games.
I spend 10 minutes to like run to the fight, only to die and have to run. I'm like, I don't want to do this again.
Don't play Ground War on Modern Warfare.
I will not.
Good. No, I don't know.
Because that is just Battlefield. They could have just called that Battlefield mode.
Call of Duty. Battlefield mode.
Yeah. If they could legally do it, they should have. Yeah.
But back to the topic.
Oh yes. Anyway, so we played Hotshots Racing. That was fun. We played
Golf with Your
Friends, which was also fun. I did not do quite as well on that game, but yeah, it's a fun game to like chat and have a good time, and try to play some insane mini golf that involves a lot of like knocking a ball out of bounds. In fact, one of the achievements that I almost earned was like knock your ball out of bounds 50 times. I was like, did I knock the ball out of bounds that many times? It was like over 50% complete. It's like, okay, all right, well, moving on. And then we more or less finished up with
Golf with your friends?
Overcooked 2.
Overcooked 2.
Oh, how did I forget we did that?
Yes, chef. By the way, chef.
Who had it? No, I thought you had it on the. Nobody has it on the list.
I had it on my list. I
you
just
deleted it. Okay.
Yeah, I just deleted
it. And that was fun too. Like it's a silly game. Like I did not. My wife and I played a lot of the original game, and then when the second one came out, I bought it, and she played a little bit online, and then said to me, kind of recently, it's not as fun as the original game because if you're playing with only 2 people, each person has to control 2 characters because it's that complicated.
Yeah,
like you can't just play this. And she told me that, and I was like, I had no idea this game was terrible. And then we played it with 4 actual people at the same time, and I was like, oh yeah, this is just as fun as the original game that I remember, but apparently. It's somewhat more restrictive in that you need to have 4 characters on the screen to be able to actually play the game. Which is probably fair because it's a complicated game for the short amount of time they give you to,
I assume they had some kind of metrics that told them, like, hey, the vast majority of our audience engaged with this with 4 or multiple players instead.
Yeah, and I haven't heard how well the second game did compared to the first. If it was just as good or better or worse, I don't know.
Yeah, I have no clue.
I feel like I haven't heard much about it since. Like I know they put another game out. Was it Moving Out? Was that the other one?
Was that by the same people?
I know it's by the same people. I played.
Well, there was the something delivery service, awesome delivery or something.
Oh,
that
totally
was different
reliable?
people.
Totally reliable.
Yeah, that was different people.
Yeah, that's not
but
that good.
The other one, I think it was called Moving Out, was by the same people that made the Overcooked.
Okay,
games.
I have played that. That is fun.
So it's not like they're just saying, oh, well, we got to make Overcooked 3 or we're going to close.
They're just remaking the first, not remaking, but they're like doing the first 2 anthology kind of thing again, right? Isn't that what they're...
Sure. Why not? Repackage it, sell it, put it on a new console. If we can grift more money out of people.
I mean, it was definitely published. It was published by Team 17.
Team 17, yeah.
Yes.
But they're not developed by the same
right.
groups. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
you mean Moving Out?
Moving Out and Overcooked are not developed by the same.
They're not the same.
I thought the game Bacon Switch would kind of scratch part of that Overcooked itch. It's not even close to being. Nah.
I mean, we played Moving Out, or we tried to on our extra live stream.
No, that was Tools
I didn't.
Up.
Oh, is that Tools Up?
Yeah,
Okay.
that got an update.
I guess.
Hopefully, the update added like a tutorial because that
made that game better.
didn't explain anything. It was like just play.
Yeah, there were a lot of assumptions that game made. Yeah. So, but okay.
But other than what we played together, somewhat more briefly, the things that I kind of poked around on, Neon Abyss is a game that's on Game Pass that I played only because it's part of a Game Pass quest. I mean, that was the thing that sparked me to try it. But once I did, I was like, this game's kind of fun. It's a rogue light, not rogue like.
I played
rogue
light. I don't remember much of it.
Isn't it like
it's a platform
dungeon?
It's like a 2D twin stick shooter.
Yes,
but very much a run based random level thing where you can build upon it. I did enjoy playing it, but the only thing I didn't like is that all of the permanent upgrades seemed really crappy. Like I'm reading through what I'm potentially trying to earn my way to unlock permanently, and I'm like, I don't like the sound of any of this. It all just sounds pretty worthless, and the only thing good is stuff that you won't keep, like double jumps or better guns or whatever. But it's only like maybe there's a new thing that I unlock after it, but the main game is 5 levels, and the best I ever got is to the 4th level. But usually once I get to that point, I feel like I'm pretty strong. I've got some good, armor, weapons, life meters, whatever. I don't know. It was fun. I keep going back to it, even unrelated to the achievement part of it now. Just kind of find myself going, I kind of want to play a run of that game.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's kind of neat. It's very much like I'll call it 16-bit, pixel kind of art style. Like it's not super primitive, but it's not like, I don't know. It's not super advanced either. The controls are good. Like it's left trigger to jump, which I don't love, but you have to because it's move with the left stick and aim with the right stick kind of a thing.
Gotcha.
But anyway, it's cool. I picked up Mafia Definitive Edition on Steam, and I played about an hour of that, and I'm liking it. I always thought I was going to go back and play the original Mafia, which...
That first game is rough.
Holding in my hand the Xbox version of that. I'm trying to make a
camera.
Noise. I don't know if that...
you don't have a camera. Why are you
I was trying to make a sound with it, but...
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I've had the original Mafia for Xbox since before Mafia 2 came out, and I just never played it. But like the first review that I saw after, I mean, I pre-purchased it before this and everything, but the first review that I saw was like, this game is bad in the same way that Mafia 3 is bad, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, I love Mafia 3. I love the sound of this. This is not deterring me in the slightest. And it was like, the story is great. the way that they like change the characters so that the eye movement really tells what they're thinking and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'm like watching the cutscenes going, totally. Like you can see, like you get emotion out of the direction that the character's eye moves to. Like if it moves off to the side, if it's staring at the guy or what. It's like, this is really well done. Now the gameplay still has, signs of this is a game from 15 plus years ago.
Yeah.
But more than that, I'm like, cars, like tires from back then. Like there's a reason why tires today are thicker than the wheels from the cars of the 1930s. Like the cars slid all over the street because they were skinny as a bicycle tire.
Have you gotten to the racing sections yet?
Not yet. I heard they're bad. I heard they're awful.
Do you remember Spirit of something for the Dreamcast?
Yeah, Spirit of Racing 1939, I think
it's the exact same
last
thing.
LJN game, right?
Yeah, it's the exact same.
Was that really the last LJN game?
As far as I know.
Wow.
I did not know that.
That game was not my favorite, but I did enjoy. I always describe those old race cars as just hot dog buns with people sitting in them and wheels on the outside.
Welcome to Mafia 1's required racing section.
Yeah, pretty much. But I'm definitely into it. I definitely want to play through the whole thing. I feel like, to me, this is why I will not at all complain about rebuying, like purchasing more games where it's like, I already own that, I'm going to buy it again, because that is a more playable version of the thing that I still wish that I could play today. Give me all the remakes of everything. Remake every game that I own, and I will pay money if that is a better version, like a more playable, more fun, better looking, everything version of stuff I already own. Because it's not so much at this point, I need more games. I don't need more games. I just want to be able to experience what I thought I was going to at some point play in my life. And enjoy that. So like a brand new game comes out and I go, oh, that's one more game to add to the pile. A remake of something that I already paid for,
knock one out.
Not a problem. I will definitely say I have just upgraded my experience.
Where do I throw my wallet?
Exactly.
That is a thought process.
I mean, yeah. It's just sort of how it works out. Like,
I mean,
I've been staring at Grandia HD on Steam for like a couple of weeks
I bought that
now.
on Switch. I need to stop buying RPGs on Switch.
I read a lot of the reviews and I'm like, I think this might be a bad call. I might be better off just buying the Saturn version of that. Which,
that's not true.
Which is not in English, but there is a patch being worked on right now, and that should work perfectly on the Polymega once that shows up. So yeah, I don't know, but either way, there's no rush at all. And I used to own Grandia on PS1, but it was sealed and I never opened it, so I was like, I'm just gonna sell this for money.
Get this out of my house.
Yeah, and then it became, but maybe I want to play that game, even though I don't. I mean, like, look, if I'm being honest with myself, there's no way I'm ever gonna finish Grandia, whatever version. There's no way.
Probably.
Well, so I'm glad you brought up this line of thinking, because I was going to ask you. I saw that East Origins is on the Switch now.
Yeah, well, I own it on Steam.
Understood.
And I own it on Vita.
But I don't own it yet.
Oh, it's supposedly a very short game in the E series. Very
is it a
action
good starting
based.
Point?
Chronologically, yes. Good game, no.
Oh, okay. Well,
it is a short, very action-focused game. It's not like I don't know. I mean, if I had
you've already answered the question. It's not a good game. I don't need to buy it.
I didn't say it wasn't a good game. I just said it's more actiony than the other ones.
Let's go back to the tape. Said not a good game. Gotcha.
Okay, there you go. Hey, Tiny, you don't need to spend money on Origin.
So I also just want to throw this out here. Aaron, I appreciate that piece of trivia. This being the last LJN game, Spirit of Speed, 5 years after LJN shut down. That is something I need to work into like trivia questions.
Wait a minute.
So
they shut down 5 years before the game came out?
Yes, so because Acclaim bought LJN. So Acclaim put it out under the LJN banner.
Why would they even do that? Like, why would people go?
That is weird.
I need to give them my money. Like that's.
But Spirit of Speed 1937 is the last LJN game. I mean, it has the LJN logo on the front.
And
37
only. Yeah.
1937.
Yeah, in my mind it was 39, but hey, it's been a long time since
I'm on the Wikipedia, so that's where I'm.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't looked at my Dreamcast collection in quite a while.
I'm 1979.
I don't even know if I own that game, to be totally honest. But
anyway, so Mafia.
Whatever else. I went back to my Switch because Mario 3D All Stars came out. I played a little bit of that.
Yep, still playing.
My takes are I have not touched Galaxy. I've never played Galaxy 1 or 2, despite the fact that I own both of them on Switch. I've never even put them in a machine.
I have not touched Galaxy, probably because it's one of my favorite games, like, period. I'm kind of like savoring it. I'm making myself suffer through sunshine so I can smile and be elated to play Galaxy. You never played either Galaxy?
I've never.
Man, they're so good.
The first one I got in a trade in a parking lot next to a Dave & Buster's.
I wonder what event that could have been.
Yeah.
One of us have been there? I don't know.
I had Time Crisis, whatever the hell it was called, for the PS3 that included a piece of crap that you throw over your television so that the GunCon 3 could work. And I traded that for Galaxy. And then
good choices.
And then Galaxy 2, I probably got either through Guzex or
the thing
maybe
is, you had a Wii though. What made you like not play like the first?
Because somebody was just like, waggle controls, and I was like, I don't care about this game.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I was like, I'll wait until someday Nintendo releases a waggle-free
I'll wait till
version.
I'm in China and play it on the Nvidia.
The IQ?
What
do they call that?
Yeah.
What did they call
the IQ?
N64.
What's the IQ?
The IQ player.
You
were right there, but
you want to see it?
Nintendo and Nvidia did it on the Shield.
Yeah, they got together and they
Wii games on the Shield, and it ran at 1080p. Like you would, and that's why like the weird thing about Galaxy is Galaxy isn't pure emulation as compared to what's going on with like Sunshine and Mario 64.
Sunshine just doesn't make sense to me sometimes. Like the decisions they made are just, who thought this would be fun?
Honestly, Galaxy is a little weird too because they still have all the pointer stuff in it, so you have to use if you're playing on the Pro controller. That's what I've been playing on.
Yeah, that's what I will be playing on.
I mean,
it does sound a little odd, so I'm not really sure, but
it's not a deterrent. Let me put it that way. Like
I wasn't too thrilled about just the hub world. Like I like Galaxy 2 where you just click on the level you want to go to. I don't want to go through the hub world crap.
Well, but I mean, he was still in Galaxy 2. He's on the spaceship that's shaped like Mario's head,
which is it's on brand.
So again, this is why like the rumor is Miyamoto doesn't like Galaxy 1 because there's too much story in Galaxy 1. And like if you dig into the story of Galaxy 1, it is super dark. Like there's like a race of the star sprites or whatever are essentially sacrificing themselves for you to save the galaxy.
The Lumas, right?
The Lumas, yeah. And then
that's the thing.
Rosalina is essentially God. And I'm sorry, man, should I spoil Galaxy? It's a 12-year-old game.
I mean, you already did a few weeks ago, so what's the difference?
Yeah. Did I talk about
how I've never heard of any of this until you brought it up.
Did I talk about how at the end Mario? It's the Final Fantasy 6. Mario fails. Like a whole new galaxy gets born at the end of that game. Like there is a black hole that sucks everything in. Again, this is why
Mario's face continues to show up because.
Well, no. So everything gets sucked in, and then you hear Mario do his wahoo, and there's a big bang, which is probably a problem with the people that don't like science in this country. So, and that's where the new that's how it happy ending. But again, this is why Miyamoto doesn't like this game, because it's not Mario's going around just jumping on stuff. It's this whole thing. Anyway, like I said, Rosalina's essentially God in that universe. She's immortal. She's going around. She had something to do with creation, which is weird because also Pokemon does this too. You literally can capture the God Pokemon that, in theory, created all life.
Okay, that is its own disturbing concept.
Also, you can also get the devil Pokemon. This is the one that rules Pokemon Hell. I love Pokemon. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know.
But
deities in a small ball that I keep in my pocket.
that an 8 to 11-year-old is responsible.
That I can just throw into a ring and say, "Hey, is your electric rat gonna beat my Jesus ball?"
Yes, that is. Welcome to the convoluted history of Pokemon.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, because of that, I turned my Switch on, and then I was like, "Oh right, I never played the Donkey Kong DLC for Mario and Rabbids," which I love that game. I mean, it's probably my favorite Switch game.
Okay.
I need to get back into that.
I've been playing through some of that, and it's fun. It's superfluous to a degree. It's absolutely not critical, but it's its own totally separate story, which is it's kind of fun, whatever. And I've been enjoying that, but maybe a third of the way through it. But it also reminded me I played a lot of Never Stop Sneaking, and I kind of walked away from it. Let me play a little bit more of that. That game must be 1 trillion hours long, because every time I play, it's you played all night and you got 1% additional through this game.
Yeah, it's one of the few games that tries to emulate a PlayStation game.
But it's
so many of those.
It's the same thing again and again, which is fine for 20 levels. This has got to be minimum 100 combined, and each one of them is 9 levels deep. So every time you join, it's all right, you got to do 9 of these to finish up and get to the next thing. So I'm yeah, it's kind of cool. I like it. It's fun. It's funny. I like the writing, but I kind of wish it was over already. And I'm at 28%. And I feel like I've been playing this game forever. So yeah, that's that. I don't recall if I mentioned finally completing everything in Shadow of War, the Middle Earth.
You put a lot of time into that.
I did put a lot of time into it. So I finished everything in the main game. I finished everything in the first DLC, and I finished everything in the second DLC. I liked what I did, but ultimately, I would say if you're a little bit curious, you've never played anything, play Shadow of Mordor. It's a better game. If you played Shadow of Mordor and you say, should I play the second game? I would say, are you willing to dump 80 hours? No? Maybe just forget it then, because it's really not that important. But I did enjoy what I played, so I mean, for what that's worth.
Hours into that game.
I don't think you have to. You can skip a lot of it, but as I've said at least once or twice before, if they make a third game, it has to be a different game to draw me in. Because if they just make another one of the same game mechanics and everything, same skills, same everything, I'm gonna walk away with it the same as I did with Borderlands. I really did enjoy Borderlands 1 a lot, but I also felt like I'm good. Like I don't need slightly different versions of this game again and again and again. So that's really that's where I'm at with that. So Aaron, do you have some digital games you want to talk about?
No,
still?
in the interest of time, I'm gonna let Tiny
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So I mean, we talked about Mario 3D All Stars. I'm like 40 stars into Mario 64, and I don't know, 10 or 15.
Oh, I forgot to say, Mario 64 is a terrible game.
Get the hell out of here! Like, I can kick you. I'm glad I'm the host. Like, not only is it a legend,
it holds up better
I am
than
enjoying
Sunshine.
the heck out of it going back to it.
Sunshine is not even close to an important game in the history of video
it's
games.
not at all.
Yeah, I 100% acknowledge Mario 64 is a colossally important game.
Its significance is what
in 2020. That game sucks.
See, I'm enjoying the heck out of it still. Like,
Sunshine
even with the parts,
it's still harder to play.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but it's like the difference between what you feel like it should be and what it is. Sunshine, I feel like, is still right there with what I thought it was, which is a game I don't want to play. 64, I was like, I've always really wanted to play a lot more of 64, and now I go, no, I don't. I don't want to play that game.
I'm enjoying 64 and going back to it. So,
but I remember vividly before that game even came out, going to Toys R Us and playing the demo unit and being like, "This game is awesome! Could you believe the way the camera works? This is fantastic." And I go,
"Yes, we have innovated." I'm not saying we haven't innovated. And
more, just like the way, we don't still race open wheel cars with tires that are, thick as bicycle tires, like we talked about an hour ago now.
Gotcha.
It's like, we've figured out what's better than that, and it's the ability to manipulate the camera so you can see where you're jumping to.
Understood. We will agree to disagree on the playability and enjoyment that Mario 64 brings to normal people.
But like I said, pretty much everything on the N64 is terrible.
That's also not true.
God,
GoldenEye is trash.
That is.
I played through most of GoldenEye this week, and I am enjoying the heck out of it.
I'm glad you're enjoying
incorrect, sir.
Completely embarrassing mechanics in 2020.
Pokemon Snap, great game. Like one of the best games on that system.
I've never played it, so I really shouldn't comment, but I assume it's significantly less than 60 frames a second.
Oh, most definitely.
I'm assuming it's significantly less than 30 frames a second.
You have to stare at the ground if you want the game to have a good frame. Anyway, so that's All Stars. Street Fighter V is a PlayStation Plus game. Or I guess it was, because now we're in October. So
sure. I hope I downloaded a day or two
to download it. I went back to start playing again. I'm having some fun. Played through with Ryu.
Did he punch that waterfall as hard as humanly possible?
Well, so because this is the later version of Street Fighter 4, it has the single player content.
Did they actually? Because when Street Fighter
added a story
came out, I rented it from GameFly and I played through Ryu's thing, and I watched him have a very flash animation version of punching a waterfall at the end.
So
my memory.
In this, you can play through all the arcade modes. So based on Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter Cross Alpha or Alpha, whatever. But you can also play through a story mode where it's telling the story and whatnot. The nice thing is, since it's on PS4, you can also use your PS3 fight sticks, and it supports legacy fight sticks. So
USB.
Yep, as long as they're USB. So right. I broke that out and played with that. So that's great. And if you already have PlayStation Plus, why not get this? The only thing that sucks is, even though it calls it the Arcade Edition, which is the last version of Street Fighter V, or Champion Edition, whichever one, it doesn't come with all the characters. There's still an unlock that you have if you want to play with all 30 characters.
Paywall unblock or
yes.
play the game?
No, like $24.99 to unlock the rest of this game.
No, not gonna happen. Sorry.
Or if you want, just go on Amazon and buy it for $17, and you get everything. Anyway.
Oh, including the whole game, right?
Yeah, you get the whole thing. I tried Super Mario 35 today.
Yeah, I did too.
And it was fun.
I came in second because I forgot to kill more enemies to get more time. I was kind of frustrated by that.
That was a piece you really have to.
I knew it. I just lost track of it. And yeah.
So, it's again free on Switch if you're already playing for online. So,
what is the actual title of Super Mario Brothers 35th?
I thought it was just Super Mario 35.
Super Mario 35. Yeah.
All right.
I believe is the answer. And then the last thing, and this will tie to a GameEnthus moment in history.
All right.
I played through NightFire. James Bond.
And how was that?
Played through
on the original Xbox. I played the whole game, which I'm surprised by because I posted a picture of that disc and it looked a little messed up. And at one point it did throw up an error, but my Xbox struggled through.
I don't know where my copy is.
Yeah,
it's not in front of me.
Well, it's in a book of a CD. Book thing, whatever.
Well, so the one thing to know, and I think I mentioned this, I brought my original Xbox and a book, a small CD book of games to MagFest, and then when I got home from MagFest, I do not know where that book is.
So it's in my hand. I found it. Haha.
Again, you don't.
We can't see it.
Anything.
Yeah.
You don't need to see it. I just take my word for it. I found it.
Okay.
So anyway, I've been slowly getting those games back and whatnot, buying them from Amazon. And hey, if you want to play original Xbox games and you have the ability to, you can get a lot of these Xbox games for less than $10. I reordered a copy of Burnout 3 Takedown for $250.
Oh, that's a great game.
That game's awesome and totally worth $250. I got NFL Street for $4 and NBA Street Volume 2 for another $4. So
I don't remember NFL Street that much. Was it better than? It wasn't better than Blitz, was it?
At that point, it was the better offering.
Okay.
So,
but the last one had LT in it. LT. I don't. Okay. No.
So So I played through NightFire, played the single player. I'd never played it before. It's a fun. A lot of people talked well about it. The problem with me, I also have the PC version, but it's made by Gearbox, and it's a very different game, and apparently very bad. So, so playing through the Xbox version, I really enjoy it. It's Pierce Brosnan, James Bond. He has the gadgets. He has the voice lines. There's a theme. It's kind of funny how they did this for all the James Bond video games. There's a Bond girl and all this stuff.
Specific to the game, Bond girl?
Specific. There are multiple. So if you go back and look,
there's a bunch.
What was the one that had Charlize Theron? I think it was Charlize Theron.
A game or a movie?
Game, because they did not make. They were supposed to make a movie and it fell through, but they were in the middle of development of the game and they still released the game.
Oh.
I think it's on 360. That one.
You're not talking about Bloodstone, are you?
Actually, no. Bloodstone is the one.
That was the Bizarre Creations game with Daniel Craig.
Right, and it has Josh Stone as the Bond girl in that. Mm-hmm. JOSS.
I'm telling you, when that game came out, it was right after Quantum of Solace, and I was like, this game is better than that movie was.
Yeah, that wasn't that great.
Anyway, so if you play through NightFire, and now I'm playing through Agent Under Fire, they're fun. I also got my copy of Timesplitters Future Perfect. I got a new disc.
That's a good game.
Man, I'm playing through that and I'm like, this is funny. It's just it does let you customize the controls, and all three of these have weird controls because I guess we were still working up.
Imagine they had a PC version of that game. That'd be really nice.
Well, you can play. There is a GameCube version that you can insert mouse controls into if you play it on Dolphin or whatever. So you get and a high res texture pack.
I'm pretty sure I think I have. I don't know about the texture pack, but I have played it on Dolphin.
That you can get relatively to what a PC version would be for the Timesplitters games. So, but it's just weird that you can't put in action to multiple buttons because, in Timesplitters, it's only like melee, reload, shoot. Like there's no jump button, for example. So there are plenty of buttons on the Xbox controller. And I'm like, well, I'd like X and B to be reload. So depending on how my thumb is, I can hit A and still hit the other one. And it's like, oh, you can only have one of these. Like, but why? There's like 6 buttons on this phrase that I don't have anything to use with. So, but yeah. So I mean, hey, if you're playing original Xbox games, I'm using it through my RetroTink. But now I'm thinking maybe I should get that other RetroTink that lets like 720 and 480p pass through.
I think you probably already ordered it.
Because the Xbox can do well. Like the nice thing about the Xbox is it can do up to 720p. It can do up to 1080 1080i. Yeah. And like right now, I'm just keeping everything at 480p and then putting that into putting that into the RetroTink for it to upscale it. I'm like, I could just have the Xbox doing this, but I can't get an HDMI signal out of it unless I do that modification that people have been talking about lately.
Yeah, I've been seeing that one. Yeah.
So, or I could just go get the RetroTink multi-format and it'll pass all that through. Which it works on a different system board than the one I have is. So, anyway, those are about it. I think we can get out of here. I don't know if anyone really cares in us or the audience that Steve is coming to Smash Brothers. Minecraft Steve.
I don't know what that means because I don't care.
The blocky guy that you've ever seen from Minecraft is
and the Enderman and a zombie are all
well, but they're all skins for him.
Like I said, I don't care about Minecraft. I don't care about Smash. So
Amazon Luna, their streaming service, got announced this week.
Sure.
It looks like
what is Goose versus Amalur?
Oh, yeah, I gotta talk. Goose hopefully he'll send a voicemail or something like that. He hit me up and was just saying that basically the Amalur Kingdoms of Amalur the remaster looks worse than just playing the original one backward compatible.
Yeah, that's
not. I don't think that's surprising.
That's the kind of stuff that I get disappointed about thinking when they release stuff like this.
I don't know. Robbie 1051 wanted an End War remake in Bridge Commander, which
I remember. I think I played the demo and it worked better than I thought. I don't think I've actually owned the game.
He also hit me up today. He's like, "Hey, can we talk about Xbox rewards?" I don't know why I would be the one to talk to you about that, but I'll...
I still have my Xbox Diamond card. I still have.
I shredded 2 of them.
I shredded that piece of garbage. I had it for a while.
Why did you shred it?
Like anything that has my name on it gets shred before it gets thrown away.
It has your name on it or your gamer tag on it?
I'm pretty sure it said David, my gamer tag Whalen, but
mine it was literally just my gamer tag.
Gotcha.
Well, it also said that if I took it to Quiznos and showed them a coupon, I could engage in the pepper bar.
You could spend more money. Are there any Quiznos left?
No,
I haven't seen
chain
one in a
went
long
down. Time. I guess the last thing I'll mention is the Bethesda Microsoft purchase.
Yeah, that's
which I guess like
we didn't talk about that.
You guys might have talked about it last week, and I don't know.
I don't know what happened.
Like, everyone keeps talking about like, is Microsoft going to let games come or not?
They said they'll case by case basis.
It's going to be a case by case basis. I'm going to say they're going to do the exact same thing they did with Minecraft because they might as well make $60 off of another platform than make $0 off another platform.
Yep.
So unless the PS4 or PS5 just totally tanks, like, cool, make the money you can make and just make content exclusive, like make extra content. So, also, I don't know what happens to the Bethesda launcher. And I assume they keep putting stuff on Steam, even though that means they have to give Valve 30% of the purchase.
So we shall see.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's like I understand people like the exclusives. Microsoft doesn't even care about keeping exclusives on their own console. They're bringing everything to the PC anyway.
Maybe,
so it's not like it's to move hardware.
Maybe Bill Gates just shows up at the end of this meeting and says, "I don't care what you all do as long as you make a third version of my favorite game of all time.
Fusion
Frenzy.
I mean, it'd be weird for Bill Gates to show up since he has no active role in that company. But I mean, yeah. I guess
are you kidding me? If he showed up and knocked on the door, do you think they would slam the door in his face and say, "Get out of here"?
I think 100% the guy who runs it now would be like, "You don't work here no more. Get out." Though I don't know if he's on the board still.
I assume he is.
I assume he's got grandfathered in. Can show up anywhere.
It's not like
anytime.
Nolan Bushnell can show up to Atari and do anything.
No. That's not the same thing at all. Atari, France Atari, or whatever it is these days.
Oh God, yeah.
Is into a whole slew of barely legal ideas.
Bitcoin hotel.
Right. You can stay in this hotel room that looks like an Atari symbol. Your bed is shaped like an Atari controller. Also, you can only stay here if you're mining Atari coins or whatever actively. Like,
so
that's a crime that they're even allowed to call themselves Atari. I don't care.
Infograms. That's what it is. I was trying to think like
it was Infograms.
Alone in the dark.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I think we should.
I think we are way over time.
We went very long.
Yeah. So all this, everything will be in the show notes. All Amanda's information, all that good stuff. If you stuck it out this far, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Donate blood. Have your dog spayed or neutered. The extra life links will be in the show notes as well. So if you want to support us for extra life, we greatly appreciate it. Did I miss anything? That's the abridged version.
No,
that is the abridged version.
That's good.
I don't know. Star Wars Squadron comes out tomorrow.
I'm
trying to figure out if I'm going to buy it on Xbox or PS4 or PC.
All right.
Buy them all.
Oh, I bought Hades too. I didn't even talk about Hades.
Hades is really good. I haven't really played it in a while, but yeah, now that it's
I bought it on the Switch. So
yeah.
Anyway, let's get out of here.
All right, that's it. We're out.